What up, fam? Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Let's go.
Oh my God!
I'm embarrassed.
He's flying.
Welcome in. It's almost time. Welcome in, everybody. This is Agree to Disagree, only on A2D Radio. Every Sunday, we're brought to you by our doc. Make them yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, location in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Find them right on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. No Brian Wills tonight. Guess he meant his quota since he did a show this morning. As always, Nick Delgazzo, Greg Milakovic, I'm Tom Arnone, the family out there, welcome in. At the end of the show, we'll do our crumb of the week. We do it weekly, so if it's your first time with us, soak it in. Get a crumb every week. Make sure Sunday you're coming with a crumb too. Sixers, they're playing great basketball. Winners of 7 in a row. We'll talk some Sixers at the end of the show. Super Bowl preview. It's here, boys. It is here. I can't believe it. It's weird. We're going to talk about it.
Eagles
and we'll obviously post-game Eagles, Niners, and Eagles advance to Super Bowl 57. All that ties into our poll question brought to you by Baggio's Bread. They're located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pies, sandwiches, cutlets, meatballs. You mentioned A2D Radio, you get 10% off your order. So you just got to head into the store. Simple as that. Our poll for tonight.
Do it for the Super Bowl. Do it for the Super Bowl.
Do it for the Super Bowl. Our poll, the Eagles will win Super Bowl 57. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation. I agree. A couple reasons why. And not just with a homer hat. All right? Not just with a homer hat. A couple things. One, our first Super Bowl win, we skinned a goat. And our second one, we're going to go do the same goddamn thing. And that's going to be Patrick Mahomes. One with Brady, now Mahomes. So that's one thing. Okay? Two, Andy owes us one. Not two, not three, just one. Andy owes us one. Not saying all the losses were on him, but he was the head coach. So just give us one, Andy.
Well, you could.
Three, I think, honestly, from one side of the football to the other, I think we're better. And I'm not trying to be a homer. And I'm not saying like gigantically better. This is a Super Bowl. I'm talking marginally, right? Marginally better, I think we are. I do. I really, truly do. Now, they have the X factor because they have the best quarterback on the field. But ours has played great all year, right? So I don't want to take away how great he's played all year. But he's not Mahomes, right? But the thing that can stop that is the number one defense in football. Guys like Hassan Reddick, who's going to get a game ball because is he the best defensive player that we've seen here in the last couple of decades the way he's playing? and he, defensively put us on his back during the playoffs. I mean, how many sacks do they have in the playoffs? 5.5 in 2 games? How many?
Today.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous every time. He's the most underrated defensive player I think I've ever seen in the NFL. Like, nobody talks about the guy. Guy's just all over the quarterback, and meaningful ones, too. They're not like, down 14, here he comes.
Yeah.
Now he wakes up. No. But, listen, I do think we have some advantages, right? And they probably do, too, right? Of course. But some of them start with on the defense side of the football. We have the front to create havoc, to put pressure on quarterbacks. And if you want to take a guy like Mahomes down, you got to pressure him, right? You got to try to hold him to 23 like Cincinnati did tonight, or 20, right? It's not impossible. That's what your goal's got to be, because as an offense, you can score. You can score. And their defense is not the Niners. Let's be clear, right? They're solid. Spags, damn good coach, but not the Niners, right? I know they played great tonight, but they're also not the Niners defense. And I think we know that. Now, impact players up front, sure. Secondary's okay, right? They're okay. Middle linebackers are okay, but their front's good, right? I mean, obviously, when you got a guy like Chandler Jones, that's a problem. But they're well coached, right? They're well coached. And we knew this coming into this year about Kansas City. You know, they go because Mahomes is the best, right? Mahomes is the best. But we skinning that goat in 2 weeks from now, family. We're skinning it. We're skinning it. Freaking big win today. I don't care how wins come. You understand, Greg? I don't care. I don't care if people tell me easy road. Easy road? We're the number 1 seed. You play or you play. All right, they had Brock Purdy coming in. We were showing we were dominant early. We were all over him early. And guess what? Hassan Reddick gets his hand on an arm. Purdy gets hurt. Not our fault. We can't control that. And we finished the job. There was a time when it got a little dicey, when it was 7-7. So it got dicey for a second. It's not like they didn't keep playing. It got dicey where we're like, uh-oh, right? Where we're like, uh-oh. And then we just ran the ball down people's throats because that's what we do best. So, you know, I don't care. Like we've had enough bad stuff happen in Philly where we don't deserve some calls, right? We don't deserve some things. Yeah, I'm not going to ever poo-poo it because I'm on the other side of it plenty too. I'm on the injury side of it with Joel and other things, right? we deal with other things here. We're not like injury-free city of Philadelphia. Right? It's about time that you know what? That we were a 1 seed and actually panned out the way it could be best for us to get to a Super Bowl, which is never easy because in my lifetime, it's the 3rd one I've ever seen. And a chance to go 2-1 in my lifetime, that's a city of winner talk. Yep. That starts becoming a city of winner talk. And that's what we are. And our defense is dominant. And I think we're going to create a ton of pressure 2 Sundays from now. And I think we win this. I think we win the game. I'm not at a prediction yet. You know what I mean, guys? Because we're going to obviously circle back and sort of talk about what we watched today and some of the things we saw and give out our game balls, offensive and defensive wise for the Eagles. But I agree. What do you guys say?
Yeah, real quick, early line, -2, 49.5.
-2 who?
My guess was Eagles would be 3.
Yeah, I heard you say that, Sweets, as we came on. So, yeah, I seen it jumped up. Eagles -2.
Eagles are favorite.
Eagles -2. And I've seen it going already up to 2.5 and then back down to 2. So
feels good. Listen. The underdog had stuff ended in 2017 too.
You didn't think they were going to be favored?
No. I'm just making a point that everything we're talking about, the underdog shit ended in 2017. It feels good to be on top. It feels good to be on top.
No, I absolutely agree. You know what I mean? Tommy, as you mentioned, people want to talk about the easy road. Well, that's all fine and good when you outscore your opponent 69-14 in 2 playoff games. You can kind of take that easy road out the door and say you just absolutely dominated 2 football teams. You know what I mean? And you're right. Today got a little dicey, but that's because San Francisco, even without a number 1 quarterback, are still a good football team. You expected them to fight, even when Josh Johnson had to come in the game. You didn't expect them to roll over, right, Kyle? I mean, we have to, as much as we want to, bust Kyle Shanahan's balls for 28-3 at all times. I mean, the fact that they were in this game, even being there with Brock Purdy as your quarterback is a testament to what he was able to do this year as a head coach. But they came in, we said it all week, Brock Purdy wasn't beating us whether he stayed in the game or not, right? The 12 games in a row was going to come to an end, and we did it the way that they didn't want us to do it, and we ran the football.
Yeah.
We ran the football when we needed to. When we were struggling, we were trying to pass, and it wasn't there. So what happened? You made the adjustment. You started running the football, and that's how you start to dominate teams. As Sweep says all the time, and we all agree, we got an offensive line that's road graders. So let's get those guys and let's get them roading some road and get these running backs. Playoff Kenny Gainwell has been a monster. Hadn't seen it much all year, but he's been really good this postseason. But I have one more ticket to cash this football season. So I'm absolutely agreeing on that one.
Yeah,
real quick before Sweeps goes, Greg. I want to say something about we have road graders. When you have road graders and you have a quarterback who can run, and that freezes guys, that becomes a big time problem for defenses to try to handle. Like it's one thing to just have guys up front and a quarterback who can move, right? A little different. But when you have road graders up front, Pro Bowl caliber players up front, right? Pro Bowl running back. Agree, right? Pro Bowl quarterback who can run. That creates a lot of problems that defenses don't know what to do. You saw Fred Warner at one point today. He was frozen. He was frozen because he has to be. He has to stay on Jalen. Has to stay on Jalen to the last second. Joey, thank you, brother. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna puff my chest. It was 2 of my locks of the century this postseason. Not hard ones, in my opinion, but two of my locks of the century. And we're now in the business of winner talk here in the city of Philadelphia. And you got to start walking with your chest out and always thinking, hey, you know what? It's not going to always go wrong anymore. The days of going wrong are over, right? We're at the top now. We're at the top. Head of the table. Sweeps to the pole. Sorry.
Wrestling term out of you. Uh-oh.
What was it?
Uh-oh.
Andy. Paging Andy.
Yeah, no, Kenny, to Greg's point real quick, Kenny's running with a purpose. Might have sealed Miles, probably sealed Miles' fate here, who knows what they're going to do. And take nothing. I mean, Miles was great today. I'm not trying to shit on him. I'm just saying, like, as far as paying a guy from the running back position, you know what I mean? But anyway, the poll, yes, they were the best team all year. So I mean, like, it's from an outsider. So they were the best team all year. So not gonna pick against them now. You know what I mean? So things happen in life, and it is what it is. Like, it's not. You don't take. You don't get penalized because something else happens to another team. All right, I got news for you. If they weren't winning anyway, all right, but they weren't winning anyway. Hassan Reddick created that issue that was created, right? So the Cinderella slipper fell off just a little bit. It fell off third play of the game instead of maybe in the fourth quarter, right? But to your point earlier, and this thing, once again, every point I make never takes anything away from the Philadelphia Eagles and what they do. You understand? But rankings to me are always phony baloney, right? Or I don't know if the 49ers defense is that good. Right? Because if you are, and you get with that setback you had, you lose that game 10-7, 13-7 if your quarterback goes out and you run the ball 50 times in a row. And the Eagles got 11 in the box because you don't have another option. That's your fault, Kyle, right? Because, Mayfield, who I don't like even a morsel of liking Baker Mayfield, he was out there weeks ago. So you didn't think anything was going to happen. If you consider yourself a good football team, did you think Purdy was just going to go, even he wasn't going to stub his toe? I mean, injury-wise, you know what I mean? Josh Johnson, that's you, Kyle. That's you, Kyle. I mean, there's a reason. And that's nothing against the Eagles. The guy's been on 13 teams. I can't believe he's in the league. He has to have pictures on people. He's flat out garbage, right? So, but that's you create your. That's also the Eagles doing what they do, and week in and week out, and putting their stamp on football games too. So it takes nothing away from them. But if you're a good defense, though, you hold the field goals. Right? You bow up and you hold the field goals, and Eagles still would have won the game. But right before the half, that was a killer. Even before Josh Johnson, they were self-inflicted. Right? Say what you want about the refs. All right? They were absolutely atrocious, but. That's the 49ers are also shooting themselves in the foot. You know what I mean? So congratulations to the Eagles. That defense imploded, that whole drive right there. Or it's possibly, you never know if it's 7-7 going to the half. Who the hell?
7-7 going to half, a different football game.
Yeah, absolutely. But the Eagles, they did all year, and they're second quarter monsters. And then all of a sudden they decided to outscore you 14-0 in a minute 30 and put that game away. And that was it. And I know all you guys and all my Eagle fans were, didn't want to jinx it and stuff like that. And I get it. You probably seen the worst, you know what I mean? But with eyeballs, you knew that was over, right? Montana and Rice jog out of the tunnel. They have no chance. Right? Because you better bring somebody to block Hassan Reddick. So if you're bringing out Hall of Famers, don't worry about Montana and Rice. You better bring somebody to block Hassan Reddick. All right, so
listen, they're dominant. They don't win. It's not always pretty, right? Like offensively, isn't always pretty. But the one thing we talked about in the pregame show, the one thing we talked about leading up to this all week long was if Jalen doesn't turn the football over, it's going to be hard for them to lose. And here we are, not his best game. I think we all know that. Okay, by far not his best game, even close. But the key when you've got a defense like this, sometimes in a running game, sometimes you can allow them to do what they do. And when it's cold out, take notes, Buffalo, right? When it's cold out and windy like it was today, not freezing out, but like cold enough and windy, especially the wind at like 16, 17 miles an hour. Like, it's nice to be able to put in a belly. And it's nice to be able to rely a little bit on your defense. And that's what they did today. Brock Purdy or not, this was a lock today. A lock because of how good this front's been. Especially from like week 7 on, week 8, when Hassan Reddick, when Jonathan Gannon finally listened and said, all right, I'm going to allow this guy to go do what he can do. Because if not, he might have 24 sacks, right? He might have 24 in the regular season if you just let him go do what he does. Because I'm telling you, I think he's the best defensive player that I've seen suit up in Eagles green in a long, long time. A long, long time. Like, I'm not going to say he's better than Dawkins. Like I was joking early, the best player in Eagles defensive history, right? But, I mean, he's up there. He's up there. He's up there in that conversation, especially the type of year he had and especially the type of postseason he had. And nobody talks enough about him. But this whole front's been great. You know, the Ndamukong Suh with a big play today. Not big play in the injury. Talking about big play and a big play, right? And when you see these guys you sign late come in and make an impact, Hassan Reddick, it goes to show you, you know, how good Howie Roseman was, right? And throughout this whole run, right, you know, did I want to see more from Jalen today? Sure. But I still wonder if he's 100, if the shoulder's 100%. Because the ball isn't coming out like it was to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing things, guys. I'm asking you guys too. Like that I thought it was coming out in week 12, say.
No, I think you're right on there. He's not 100%. I don't think he can be, and especially just with the style of play, right? But no, I mean, where he was off a lot today, of course, was the deep ball, right? You had the one in the early in the late first quarter, early second quarter. You know,
got to hit that.
Got to hit that.
I think it was first, right?
It might have been the first quarter. Yeah, I think so. Right there at the end of the first quarter. Yeah. And then even a couple of the shots that you ended up taking down the field in the second and third quarter, they ended up not even being in bounds or giving your guy a chance. You know, some of them were underthrown a bit, where you saw in the regular season when he was healthy, he's making those throws, or at least they're in the right spot. Yeah. Right, to where it's your guy or nothing as opposed to a contested. But Tommy, you hit it on the nail, right? You don't turn the football over, though, right? And I thought early part of the game, not only was he off, I thought he was a little almost robotic, right? It almost felt like the throwing, you know, the being off throwing was also affecting his legs. Like he went from trying to be an athlete to being a quarterback, and it felt like we were, you know, through that first half, we were like, what's going on with our offense? And it felt like Jalen he was off. Just all over. And then he started being an athlete. He started running the ball. He started being what Jalen was all year, getting out of the pocket, trying to make throws down the field, and then, of course, running. And then it started opening up the run game. And that's where we started to take over, is when he really started, you know, being an athlete, being the quarterback that he's been all year, despite not having the greatest game throwing-wise.
Yeah, and it just looks off, you know, like the arm. It just looks like there isn't as much zip as I thought I saw earlier, but you know, I could just be seeing things, but I wouldn't be surprised because like that land is tough, right? Like for it to be 100%, nobody's 100% this year, right? But that land's tough, but he's tough, right? In 2 weeks, him and Mahomes get a break. You know what I mean? So it's not like one guy gets a break. You know, they both get a breather on both of their ailments, right? And they're both going to be, you know, probably 90% or above come game time. So that to me is a non-factor. Rico, thanks, brother, for the super chat. Greg, one thing that I thought, you know, Darius Slade to me, he had a horrendous effort on the McCaffrey touchdown, getting his beak wet. But the one thing he did say that makes a lot of sense, and I do agree with, is that, you know, when you look at this offense and defense, you know, and they practice against each other, obviously training camp up until now, you know, that matters. Yeah. When you're going up against guys across from you that are, you know, your offense is scoring 28 a game and your defense is giving, you know, second best in football, whatever you want to rank them, right? Like, I think that only makes teams better, you know, especially when we talk about Niners too. I mean, Niners as well. It's only going to make Brock Purdy better, quicker when at defense you got guys flying all over like they got. And I think a big part of today, Sweeps, on maybe why their defense folded a little bit in the run game was because, how bad was that Fred Warner injury early, right? Was it a stinger? Was it something a little bit more, right? That just took them out of it a little bit. Bosa, how much of an injury was that? Because those two are their big cops. Outside of that, it's some good players, don't get me wrong, right? But they go as those two go. And I just wonder how much of an effect that had on their defense. But they didn't show up. I mean, we talk about they're not the 85 Bears. I wasn't scared of them coming to town. Like they're going to hold me to 14. I didn't think that was possible. That's why I thought it was a lock, that they couldn't score as much as we could score. And here we are. And even if Purdy played, they weren't scoring as much as we can score, but the game would have been closer, right? It probably would have been more in the range where a lot of us had it. A 24-17, whatever, right? Maybe it's a little closer, but who gives a rat's ass? It's a great play by Hassan. We're going to a Super Bowl. I want everybody out there, how do you feel? Andy's coming home. Daddy's back. Does he owe us one? Will he give us one? Is it time to skin another goat? City of winners, baby. City of winners.
Thoroughly outplayed, thoroughly outcoached, and that's the great Kyle Shanahan. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge, great. It's easy to look back and say, oh, it's only the first drive, and these guys want to save timeouts and they want to save challenges. That's an amazing catch by Devontae Smith. All right, so I'm not taking anything away from him, but I got to give a shot. I got to gamble. Even if I know the Eagles hurried up, I just got to drop the hanky and say, hey, I got to see it. I got to see it with my own eyes on the Jumbotron. You know what I mean? Like, I got to see it. I got to see it. You know what I mean? And the difference, and then Nick obviously challenged, the Purdy fumble, which, we all saw it was, clear as day, but still just, from head to toe, they were outplayed. And then just to see, how classless they were at the end was, just typical. You know what I mean?
Oh, typical Trent Williams.
Just typical. I was just going to say, you're picking on, you got bullied all day, and I'm not necessarily saying him, but your team got bullied all day, bro, and you're going to pick up a backup safety and throw him by his neck. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just typical pussy behavior, fucking classless bullshit. And that's what happens when you get punched in the mouth. And somebody steals your lunch money all day. You know what I mean? Then you go try to start picking on the littlest kid after you just got fucking bullied all day. And then you try to pick on, somebody smaller, and it's just absolute joke. So it was good to see that. Good to see the ass whooping too. You know what I mean? I just like the fact that, like I said, both of the Eagles fronts are unbelievable. They're grown men. It's grown men talk, and what watching what they do to other grown men is just absolutely, is absolutely. It's really eye popping, and that's why, like I said, they got the skill players are great too. So that takes nothing away from the skill guys. You know what I mean? But we've always said in the history of football that it always starts up front. You know what I mean? So you can say whatever you want. This guy's system guy and all this stuff. Listen, and that's how this team was constructed and good for Howie and good for good for everybody in that organization. You know what I mean? And the fact that that Sirianni in a 7-7 game could go for it on his own 30, fourth and one, because the quarterback sneak's unstoppable for the Eagles. You know what I mean? And you think at some point somebody would drop a fumble, drop a snap or something. Those guys are gigantic men, and they get lowered in snake balls. All right, they showed us the replay, and every one of those mammoth men were helmets. They led with their helmets, and they get ankle high on the quarterback sneak. It's just unbelievable athleticism, strength, and it's unbelievable to watch, what they do to other grown men. And that's just, that's a remarkable thing. You know what I mean? So say whatever you want about the schedule, say what you want to say about the road to it. That's what you get for being a 1 seed. You earned that. Okay. So I got news for you people. There was one bye this year. They earned it. So whoever came knocking on the door, that's who you answer. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say, hey, I didn't expect you to ring the doorbell. Yeah, whoever rings your fucking doorbell, you answer the fucking door. Right? And that's what they did. It happened to be Dimes, a cute little story. Sorry. And then it happened to be, even if Purdy stayed healthy, it wasn't going to happen either. But as soon as Josh Johnson came in, it was absolutely laughable. It was time to, play with your kids, time to plan your Sunday dinner and make your Super Bowl plans.
For sure. I want to say, something else, that I think is interesting is, when Andy was here, it was a big philosophy on up front too, right? And QB university, right? Same type of thing, right? QBU, right? They valued it. They're in big positions. They valued, and Howie was a part of it, obviously. At towards the end of it, after Joe Banner, but Howie was like a Joe Banner disciple too, so it all connects. But that was something that early in the 2000s on what we built that team, those teams with, right? We were great up front, right? We used a high pick for a quarterback. Okay, similar like builds, right? When you look at the teams back in Andy's era to right now, and I got to give a lot of credit to Howie Roseman and the whole scouting department, and obviously Jeff Stoutland, and I think something Tucker or Rucker is our defensive line coach.
Yeah, that's Kumar's dad.
Yeah. It's he played at Auburn too.
Tracy Rucker, that's Kumar's dad.
Yeah. So it is.
Yeah.
Everybody out there think he's joking. He's not. But I got to give those guys a lot of credit, and I got draft wise, everything. They've hit, and when they felt like they had a problem this year, up front in the run game, they go out and get two gigantic human beings that come in here, and one's a winner in the Damica, and comes in here and helps really shore some toughness up in your front. And I can't give Howie Roseman. You guys know how I am with Howie, right? I don't give Howie a ton of credit. He deserves a ton of goddamn credit because in a 4-year span, essentially, really 5, right? But in that span, the whole flip over of a roster, personnel, okay, coaching staff, everything. And in that window, you're able to have home runs in the draft outside of regular, but go have home runs in the draft all over the place, right? In the last 4 years, he's been really good in the draft. And we've got a lot of players that are now part of this run. And obviously, we have our leftovers of our 4 main guys. So I think a benefit for us going into the Super Bowl too. The other thing is, yes, the Chiefs have guys who have been there and won it. Sure, right? But so do we. So we don't go in not knowing. We don't have guys going in saying, hey, don't give them anything, right? Don't give them anything. Those little things. And then what it takes and how to be on, to not be a jackass that week, right? And stay focused on football, the importance of that, and the little things. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, baby. Hit the like, hit the subscribe.
Yeah.
Stay with us.
And
just go.
Just to add a little quick story to your when you're giving out accolades right there. We always talk about, hey man, it starts at the top, and it starts the guys leading those units. So you look at the Eagles, they're probably their 2 biggest strengths is offensive, defensive line. So Sirianni told a story last week that he couldn't sleep, and he was up at 3 a.m. and got to the place at 4 a.m. and he walked past Tracy Rucker and he said, hey, what's up, man? What are you doing here? And he's like, I'm always here. And then he saw a couple more people, and they were like, oh yeah, Coach Rucker's here every day at 4 a.m. So and Sirianni never knew that. You know what I mean? And it's just like
he said, oh man, he said, he felt a certain way about himself.
Yeah.
Like one of those things too. Yep, I heard that one.
Real quick,
great story just about the commitment, right? From all over when you get here. This isn't a Cinderella run, right? This is a damn good football team that we knew paper-wise was really good, right? But then it takes the gel. It takes the coaching staff. It takes all those things that come together to get to a Super Bowl, right? For both sides, Kansas City and Philadelphia, right? That's what it takes to get here. It ain't easy to get to them or like it was for the Patriots, right? For a run, right? It's not like that. It's usually not like that. It's usually hard to get the one.
And you heard Nick talk about it too, and you could tell by just the way the team interacts with each other. They like each other. They play for each other, right? And that helps when you go on a run like this, because when you get down to the time of next man up, there is a mentality of this guy's going to do it. Maybe not to the level of the guy in front of him, but this guy's going to be there and he's going to give it his all because we're all in this together, right? And that was something that you continually heard. Throughout the post game stuff. Oh my goodness!
Sorry, that ain't happening. Jason,
that's a good night.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great night, Jay. But I do not think that what's happening. Even though I do believe the Eagles win this football game, but I think this is the definition of a field goal. You know what I mean? This smells. Jake Elliott late for a win and confetti drops.
And then I know there was a couple comments. There is no Landon Dickerson update yet.
Tomorrow.
It'll probably come tomorrow once he gets it X-rayed or MRI'd. But thank God we got 2 weeks, right? I would bet money that he's playing, unless it's broken and he can't move it, right?
Dude, Lane Johnson. There's a guy on the line playing without a groin.
Yep,
he's playing.
Super Bowl. And Landon's not a a kitty cat either, right?
No.
Landon's a monster. So if he's able to move it, he's gonna play.
No Purdy cat there.
Yeah, no Purdy cat.
No Purdy cat there. But he's playing. All these guys are playing. They get 2 weeks of treatment. Both teams are going to have their full complement of guys, and may the best man win, and that's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. And I could see that. That I said I didn't want to give one early, but if you had a gun to my head, I'm like 27-24. 27-24 Eagles. You're not going to shut them down. You know what I mean? You're not going to shut them down. They're going to score. So how can you limit damage? Right? That's the big thing. Super Bowl Sunday, when you're playing Patrick Mahomes, can you limit the damage in the red zone? Can you hold them to field goals? You want to win. You want to win in the Super Bowl? That's how you do it. You don't turn the football over and you try. And listen, they're going to get a touchdown, right? They're going to get at least one. But can you majority? If they get down there, hold them to field goals. Hold them to field goals. And that sets up for your best chance to beat them.
And that's the one thing that the defense has done all year, right? As much as we criticize Gannon at times, right? The one thing the Eagles defense has done is made adjustments, especially second half adjustments, to where they limit what you do, and they limit your yards, they limit your points. I think if I'm early, I'm a little ahead of you, Tommy. Maybe 30-24 early.
Oh,
I think it's a little bit better. I think our defense is just head and shoulders better than anything the Chiefs have faced all year.
Oh, I agree there. I mean, that's not.
And I think it's going to give them issues. Especially with Avonte back. Avonte back, as you saw today, is just so key to that defense.
He really is. He's all over the football field.
He was all over the field.
Very good tackle.
I thought he was going to get a penalty on that one hit to McCaffrey when he came in late.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a really good tackler on a defensive backfield that's not maybe the best, right? Where you need those type of guys. I'm not disrespecting their other skill position players, but it's Travis Kelsey.
It's Travis, and that's it.
Can we find a way to slow it down? But guess what? The plays the extended plays, right? That's when Mahomes does his best work. Well, I don't think those extended plays come as much versus this defense. That's where my difference in this football game is. I don't think they come as much as they're going to come against Cincinnati, Buffalo, anybody else. I just don't think. Right? San Fran, you can't extend as much. Look at Jalen today. Jalen wasn't able to extend like he usually does against the Niners front. You know what I mean?
Just so much. They said so much history, so much records this year that you have to finish it. You have to finish it, and I know that's Captain Obvious, but they're just whether it's the sacks. 75 sacks, including the playoffs. Today they went by the Yellow Jackets, whoever the fuck they are. Excuse my friend.
Yeah, I don't know. Good to have you. Good to have you.
24. Thanks for playing, Yellow Jackets. But the 39 rushing TDs in a season. There's a record. So it just goes on, and it just seems fitting that you got to put a bow on it. You put a little bow on it, and you finish this you finish this run.
40 boy, what up, brother?
What up,
Just
40?
woke up from a drunk nap, went straight to A2D, as you should. As you should. Welcome, brother. Welcome everybody out there. Right? Kumbaya. Kumbaya. How's everybody feeling? You guys should be feeling delicious. The city of winners. We're back. We're back and we're here to stay. Right? Phillies, now Eagles. Except we're going to finish the job. And then we're going to talk about the Sixers. Right? Joel.
It's not our cup of tea, but the Union were in the finals too.
Yeah. Not our thing, but yeah.
But no, Sweeps, to that point, right? I mean, I saw a couple of tweets. You know, we talked about last week the guys that got snubbed, right? And how if you don't win today's game, the snubbing doesn't matter because you should be in the Super Bowl. But now Nick Sirianni is 5-0 against the coaches that were listed ahead of him in the Coach of the Year. And there was one other one about I'm trying to find it here. Hassan Reddick. It was Bosa, because Bosa had a goose egg today, and Hassan Reddick had the two sacks, tackle for loss, straight.
All right, and why did Joey Bosa have a goose egg today? Who did he go up against?
Yeah, it's going against Lane. So
against Lane.
A Lane with a bad groin still holds arguably one of the defensive player of the year. Yeah, candidates at least without even a sack. Think about that. Without a groin. That's how good Lane Johnson is.
He might not have even had a tackle for loss.
I think
the only play he really made was early in the game where he stuffed Jalen for almost that safety. I think it was the only play he had.
Oh yeah, he did have that play, but that was on a run too.
2 tackles for loss. Sorry, 2 tackles for loss.
Yeah, but the one was a run, and it was Stoll who was around him, not even Lane. So you don't even get credit for Jack Stoll.
That was the play right there on the goal line. Yeah, Jack, you want to hit him where you run by him?
Yeah, get a hand. I mean, hands are fun.
You want to hit him one time?
But this is amazing. I mean, this run is special. They all are, right, in different ways. But this one, we hit a little turbulence late in the year. Okay, we hit a little turbulence, and people didn't think this team was like, with questions about Jalen's health, etc. But guess what? What do great defenses do? They come to play.
Defenses travel.
Come January. And they don't only travel, they travel at home too really well. And that's what they did this postseason. That's what they did, regardless of who they played, etc. They played to arguably the 2 best running backs in football. Right? And they shut it down. Shut her down. Shut her down. Giants were everybody's darling coming in. Oh, the Giants. They're tough. They're tough. Shut up. That's a lock. All right, and the Niners, Purdy. Oh, the Niners. Shut up. You shut up too. Right? Enough of you as well. Right? Even if Purdy plays, it was a lock because we're better. Now the Chiefs game, not a lock. We're not there yet. Don't talk to me. Talk to me Sunday morning.
We can get there.
Yeah, we can get there. We can. Of course, we can get there, but not in a century. Not in a century. But the Chiefs' point and the Martians' point, man, the opportunities to get here don't come around often. So when they come around, you got to seize. You got to seize the opportunity in front of you to be a Super Bowl champion. That changed your life, right? Changed all the lives of guys on 2017. There's guys who stunk, who went and got deals elsewhere, right? There's guys who weren't good, and teams gave them money, right? Trey Burton, who was the white D tackle? He went to Tampa. Bo Allen. Stunk, right? I mean, there was guys who got paid like 2-year deals who were like legitimately like got maybe like, you get my guy got 10 snaps a game.
And Foles got a statue. I mean, shit.
Yeah, Nick got a statue.
Nick.
That's a Jags deal, right? And the Jags deal after the Super Bowl. So, listen, like I said, we are the better football team. And not by a ton, but right around where Vegas has us, right? 2 points, 3 points better. I believe we're better. I believe it. And today was great. You remember the first body bag game? It was in the 90s with Buddy.
Yeah.
Right? This was body bag.
Wasn't that a Dallas game?
It was a Dallas game. This was body bag game too. This is what this was. I feel like we were doing it today. On quarterbacks, on defensive player of the year candidates, arguably the best middle linebacker in football. I mean, everybody was limping off.
And Tommy, you mentioned this earlier though too, but I just see a tweet here from Emmanuel
We're
Acho.
fucking tough, Greg. We're fucking
absolutely.
tough.
He says, what I love most about this Eagles team is the nucleus is homegrown, as you've mentioned before, right? Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Jason Kelsey, Jalen Hurts. Now, there's obviously more of those guys, but he said the nucleus is homegrown. And that's how you build a football team.
Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith.
No, absolutely. I said there's more, right?
No, I mean, Landon Dickerson, right? Jordan Mailata. I mean,
TJ Edwards.
I mean, the list goes on. I mean, most teams are, right? Most teams are. But when
that's how you win and sustain winning is doing it through the draft, right? The homegrown. Then you go out and you trade for your show ponies, right? Trade for your Darius Slays, your Bradburys, your AJ Browns. Yep, absolutely.
And Greg, to your point, like if you don't hit on those picks, these signings mean nothing.
Yep.
Like if you don't have Mailatas, Dickersons of the world, Devontaes of the world. Okay, signing AJ Brown is good, right? Makes sense, but you're not as good, right? And it's not only landing Josh Sweat, Josh Sweat being a double-digit sack guy, right? If he's not, how good's your front as a whole? It's not as good.
6th-round pick.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just, dude, it is. I don't want to say home runs, but it's really good. Certain type of player, right? Worker, team guys, not guys with character issues, right? They steer clear of that stuff. They really believe in steering clear of that stuff, right? And guys are just all about winning. And you see where they've gone the last 2 years too. They went really by the board. They went Devontae, Dickerson, both won it that year, and then they follow up by going the board again. They go, obviously, Jordan Davis round 1. They mix in Jurgens, not like he didn't win football games, and then they go in the 3rd round and get into Kobe. So they're literally the last 2 years. They just the team captains, sure. Team captains have won it, sure.
Winning programs
doesn't always work though, right? That doesn't always work. It's worked with those. It's worked in those 2 years though. So right, and I know you can get guys from every school. I get it, right? But the 2 years that they've sort of regrow, right, the culture here. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Guys that it's bigger than that. Jalen's another guy, right? It's bigger than Jalen. When Jalen doesn't care about his stat sheet today, I'll tell you that much. Like he don't give a rat's ass about his stat sheet. He cares about, did we go through that tunnel with a W? Did we hoist something today? That's what he cares about. And as long as that's always agenda 1 for Jalen Hurts, he'll always be elite in terms of winning in this league. Always. Always win a ton of football games if winning means more to him than any number. And I truly believe it does, right? And Patrick's the same type of guy. Like, Patrick just puts up numbers because he's like awesome. But winning means more to Mahomes than anything else. Hence why he wins so much. You don't win so much if it doesn't matter to you that much, no matter how great you are. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, you could be special, but you're not always going to NFC, AFC, title games, Super Bowls. Like at the different breed that goes to those things.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just jacked up. I hated the hiring of Nick Sirianni, to keep it real. I didn't like it because Doug was my guy, right? So I want to be fair and give Jeffrey Lurie a ton of credit for just another fucking home run, Jeffrey. There's another home run. I thought the rock, paper, scissors drove me crazy, right? Some of the things were weird to me, but guess what? Guess what? When you win in this city and players play for you, and I hear from players that say how much they love playing for Nick Sirianni, guess what, Nick? I'm fully behind you, baby. Now go beat that. Go beat that. The new daddy's in town. The new daddy's in town.
Yeah, it helps to have some. It helps to have, it always helps to have a nice stable too. So,
players?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
helps Andy too.
I think
helps Andy. Helps Andy get Mahomes as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's been doing it 2 places for a long time. So
no, he just fell in some shit. Let's not act like he didn't fall in some shit.
Let's go, Keys.
He moved up and drafted him.
No, and he's great with quarterbacks too. Yeah. So right, like if he's got talent, he's going to mold you. He's going to get you right. It takes 2 to tango. We know. Keys, I missed it. He said $20 super chat. Look at you, Keys. Unbelievable. He goes, as I stated before, I was the biggest or one of the biggest Jalen detractors as well, Keys.
Yeah,
I love the guy now to the point of buying his jersey. Keys, before the Super Bowl, he will lead us to Super Bowl number 2. I just feel it, Keys. I got his jersey. I said I was not going to wear it until he won a playoff game. So after he beat the Giants.
Keys, after that, Tom might send you one. So,
I might send you one. You know, Keys,
look at your inbox, Keys.
Keys, send me your inbox me personally, Keys, not A2D Radio, and I'm gonna get you a Jalen jersey. But let me tell you something, Keys. Thanks, Sweeps. Sweeps loves going in nails his pockets. We're gonna get you a jersey. I love you. I'll get you a jersey. Felt that 75 slip out. Where'd that go?
Hey, see that? The size. Keys, what size are you? Check that tag.
Yeah, check the tag. Send the one I'm wearing. Put it back in the packaging. But I said I was not going to wear it until he won a playoff game. But there was never question marks about Jalen's leadership. We all know this. We've been through this. But we all knew he was going to be a worker. We just didn't know if he could throw it enough. But guess what he did? And he's a winner. He's a winner. At the end of the day, he's a fucking purebred winner. That's what he is. Okay? It's bigger than anything else. I'm not in this to jerk off over my quarterback's numbers. I just want to tell you this. I'm in this to get rock solid over wins. That's what we're in this for. Like we all get up in one thing or another, right? Like you think every game your quarterback, regardless if it's not Patrick Mahomes, is gonna have like the best numbers ever. Like you know what I mean? You think a guy's throwing for three something and 3 touchdowns every single game?
And that's why all the
come on.
That's why all the haters were. It was comical all year because you got a 14-3 football team, and 2 of those losses were when he wasn't playing. So if you're going to take shots and you want to throw boulders and you want to slingshot a dude, make sure it's warranted. You know what I mean? Like a 7-9 football team, an 8-9 football team. With numbers that might not be quarterback-esque.
Yeah, Joey Barrow. Love Joe Barrow. Struggled with that. Love Joe Barrow.
But don't shoot at a guy that's 14-3. I don't care what he does. All he does is run. Okay, well, Eagles are 14-3. So what else?
Well, it helps.
Anything else? Hey, what else you got on the docket? It's a board meeting. This board meeting's open to the public. What else you got?
Well, I'll say this.
Quarterbacks are judged on wins and losses and Super Bowls and stuff like that. It's the reason why Marino is not in the top 5, right? Because he never won one, right? He's probably the best to ever sling it. I don't give a shit about all these other fucking puppets and all these other guys that people want to tell me they're great. They are great because they won, right? They won, right? He didn't win, so he can't be in there. I love the guy. So if you don't win, you don't get in conversations.
No, Mahomes today.
Real quick, 30 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tom's talking about Hassan Reddick is because not only is he good, he needs more of a body of work. If you want to, if without a Super Bowl title, if you get a Super Bowl title, then you can go right into the top 3 of the Eagles all time because the other guys don't have that. Reggie doesn't have that, and Doc don't have that.
Nope, they don't. And sorry, the one thing I hate about virtual is I never know when people are done. Right, that's like the hardest part. Right, I think the virtual shows. But Mahomes, one leg outplayed Joe Burrow today. That's just facts on one leg. And I love Joey. I love him. Yeah, he's a top 5 quarterback to me all day. I'll take him to lead my franchise. Okay, but he struggled today. He struggled. He wasn't the best, and I know his offensive line. I get all those things. Right, they couldn't run the football, and he struggled like any quarterback. Because if you can't run the freaking football as an offense, your quarterback is going to struggle. Unless you're even Mahomes, like they ran the football today. They didn't run the football either.
You never want to lose. Mahomes of course, he didn't want to lose. All right, but Burrow's, of course, he wants to win. All right, but he's also a little bit thankful right now. His body's a little thankful. All right, because I got news for you: Bengals, Eagles set the Super Bowl record with about maybe 10 sacks. I got news for you. Come on,
MVP would have been the line.
Five.
Would have been all 5 offense defensive linemen
today against an average line. Take away Chris Jones. Chris Jones is awesome, but that's an okay. That's a okay front. You take nothing away from those guys. You're talking about the Eagles front is killers. I mean, they would have got him 8 times. He would have been absolutely destroyed in 2 weeks.
Well, and the other thing is,
ROG 19 and a half.
What? What is?
He's got sacks.
2 sacks today.
He had 16 in the regular season, and he had 1.5 last week, and then 2 today.
I mean, they don't like the one thing about KC is they don't run the football great. You know what I mean? They don't. I think they're averaging.
I think it's a case of no. You're right, but
93 yards a game. So I'm not saying they had 20 total carries today as a team. All right. Mahomes threw it 43 times, but they didn't have. They rushed 2.1 yards a carry. But what I'm getting at is that see how they're at that 23 mark. That's how you get them there. You make them one-dimensional. If they beat you in the air a little bit, okay, they beat you in the air a little bit, right? But I'm going to make them as one-dimensional as possible. But the way I look at us, our front's so good, I'm not scared of their run game until it starts beating me, right?
Yeah, that kid runs hard, man, and that's another storyline that just makes this awesome. The Andy and all the other Pacheco's a hometown kid,
yeah.
And it's just Hassan Reddick playing for his hometown and the year he had, so just awesome storylines. All over. But yeah, Pacheco runs hard. That dude he runs with a purpose. He runs with a guy that can be out of the league year to year. And I love that kind of intensity. I love when guys play like that.
Yeah, me too. I do.
Out of Rutgers, out of Vineland.
Yeah, Greg remembers when we were talking before we came on. I said, I don't hate the Chiefs. I like a lot of their players. So, but guess what? It's my Eagles, and we're got to go kick some ass.
Kelsey.
So
Kelsey.
I put the likings away for a minute, not liking anybody. But no, this has so many storylines, from the Kelsey brothers to Andy, to what you guys just said, obviously. So, a lot. And that's sort of why I felt like this would be a good matchup too, as we got closer to start picking teams, felt like, okay, this would make sense, right? They have a lot to sell. And what I love for us, I think is a benefit for us, and Kansas City can make the same argument. But I think, just being in the dome, right, in closed conditions, makes it better for our offense and our running game.
Yeah.
I think it makes us more explosive.
Yeah,
more explosive inside.
This is definitely the best that the NFL could have wished for or scripted, depending on who you ask.
And our front's fast, right? Too. And our front's fast too.
Yeah.
So it's not like we have a fast front. Probably helps. But this is Greg, this is what they wanted.
Yeah, it's the best they could have asked for or scripted. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, Scottsdale's going to be an absolute zoo that weekend.
As it should be.
Again, you have the Waste Management, which is one of the biggest PGA events going on during the same weekend as the Super Bowl. It's going to be absolutely insane.
Oh, well. How many sacks does Reddick have in total? Ro, are you asking for like
I said 19 and a half.
19 and a half. Okay, you did answer that. Yep. No, I just think Alberto, I just think they like to thunder. I don't say thunder and lightning. I just think they like to mix it up in the backfield. Different personnel, different guys who run a little different. And, I think Kenny gives you a burst. Kenny hits holes. Kenny's not looking to dance. And I think when you have the ability of the RPO and you have a quarterback that can run and you have a running back that doesn't dance, if there's a hole to be had, giddy up and go. And it seems like that's worked out well. So, that's the way it goes. Miles had Miles had a great game today. It's nothing new.
If you get a chance to get to the second level, that's you gotta take it.
Oh, I do not care about Big Red this week, the next 2 weeks either, Amari. You know what I mean? He's almost dead to me.
Never did.
No, I see.
Never did personally, but yeah, I hear you.
I love
Definitely
Andy.
Not the next 2 weeks.
I love Andy, so I'll never hate Andy. But the next 2 weeks, he's officially an enemy.
Yes.
That's how this works. If we were friends, we wouldn't text. You know what I mean?
2 weeks about to go for the texting.
We're not talking the next 2 weeks, if this happens. So, I don't know what to tell people. Same with Patty. Love Pat. I can't say enough great things about him, but I think he takes an L this. I keep saying this week. Next week. Next week. Ryan, it seems like it, Ryan Kerr. Phillies World Series, Eagles in Super Bowl, Sixers are a 2 seed.
I mean, there is
what a time to be alive.
Of course, you got the Super Bowl tickets in the safe still. There is one more ticket that could cash that's in the safe.
What?
Just saying.
What is it?
Sixers NBA champs.
Okay. How much was that for?
I put 100 on. I think they were 12 or 13 to 1 at that point. It was before the season, so wherever
we
they
got
opened.
1,300, 1,200. Yeah. All right. Greg, look at you. Look at you. If the Eagles win, I'll never have a bad thing to say about you ever again. All right?
The mush is gone. The mush is gone.
Not only did we kill the curse of the Santa snowballs in 2017, right? But now in 2023, we kill the curse of Greg. The Greg curse goes away.
That's probably
washed away.
That's way more powerful than snowballs.
we all three of us have seen the effect that I could have on a game.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, this is a great error. I mean, that's why today, it was funny. Leonard's you're going to get all excited on the show tonight, but you're not jumping around. I would expect for you to be more excited. And I said, Len, the last 2 weeks, I said locks of the century. That's how confident I was. So this is nothing I didn't expect, right? Especially then when Purdy went out. I expected this now. I expect this not to be a game. This shouldn't be a game, right? You know what I'm saying, guys? It wasn't a game to jump around it. It was controlled. Controlled chaos the last 2 weeks. Controlled chaos, controlled violence.
Like I said, from an outsider, you're still going to get people that react differently. Excuse me, but when you're 14 and 3, you're the big bad wolf. There's things you expect, So it doesn't mean you're not happy. Of course, you're elated. You know what I mean? But when you're a lower seed and you came through adversity or whatever, and and you haven't been to the Super Bowl in a long time, and tears can flow just like 2017. You know what I mean? Next man up, and backup quarterback, and tears were probably flowing, and then you're and then you're like, now we got to go slay this dude. Shit, how are we gonna do this? You got to score 40 points, and you did it. So
yeah, we'll do it again. We're gonna do it again to a different one.
So
that's what we opened the show with, right? We skinned one goat 5 years ago, and we're skinning another goat every 5 years. The Eagles come around, and we're just, who's the GOAT? Oh, let me skin him. Another 5 years going to go by. Who's the GOAT? Oh, here the Eagles come. We'll skin his ass. So we're the GOAT skinner now, and we're going to go do it again. Because when it's all said and done, bearing major injury, Patrick Mahomes, number-wise, is going to be the best of all time, and it's not even close. If he plays another 5 years, his numbers are going to exceed everybody's. Just probably 5. But no, I mean, we're all jokes. He's probably got to play another 8. But another 8 years, easy. Because if you look at his numbers now, they're insane. If you match him to other guys, you know what I mean? Top 5 in categories.
He's probably at least got to get to 4 though to even be in that conversation with Tom.
For what?
For Tom, 4 Super Bowls.
Oh, no. I'm not saying the best of all time he's going to be. I'm saying his numbers.
You just get a top numbers list.
Yeah. No.
Like LeBron.
Yeah, hold on a second. There's one GOAT still running around. He's almost dead right now in TB12. He's walking on one leg, literally. But, I don't count him as the best in football anymore, but he's the true GOAT. It's him, Montana, and everybody else right now. But Mahomes, number-wise, is right there. Because Joe Cool still has 3, right? So, or 4. How many's that? 3 or 4? How many's Montana have?
Montana, 3.
4.
So, Mahomes has 1.
Yeah.
You got a lot of work to do, baby. Like we talked about.
Right, that's right.
That's cool.
You know, I mean, that's why I wanted to say 5, but I settled for 4 if you wanted to even be in the conversation. You know what I mean?
Sweeps.
Spectacular. You know what I mean?
Greg, I'm scared to ask you this, so I'm going to go to sweeps on this, and no disrespect, you know. But is Patty? Is he a super max? Like I don't know what the NFL calls it, but like a mega max or whatever they call it at the quarterback position. Is his Is that what he's signed to? And Greg, you can look it up. All jokes aside, but yeah, Montana's 4-0. Wayne Miller said.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I think it was what? I don't know.
Good.
It was Packett like 4. No,
10 years, 450.
400 million, right? 450.
450.
So that's that number that as of now, no QB's won the Super Bowl with that kind of money.
At its highest, he's getting paid $52 million a year.
Shows how
Throughout
great.
the next couple of years, he's 46, 44, 46, 41.
Shows how great he is.
I'm sorry. 2027, when he's 32, he will be making $59 million. Or that's his cap hit, $59 million. Almost $60 million.
Well, Greg, that's going to be cheap by then. You know what I mean? By then, that's a cheap deal.
Yeah, Josh will probably get $2 million a year.
Yeah, back him up. No, I mean, he's the man. If there's a guy who's going to break that little thing I gave, how nobody's done it, right? No quarterback's been able to do that. It would be him. You know what I mean? He'd be the guy that breaks that mold in terms of that much money allocated to the quarterback and winning a Super Bowl. Because I think they said it hasn't been done in a long, long time.
Yeah, I don't think. To your point, Todd, it's very rare anymore that somebody wins it after extensions.
No, I mean getting there, all that stuff.
And Tom's done it, but Tom's never been the highest paid guy.
No, he's never been the highest paid player in his position.
Yeah,
so it makes it a little easier.
So it's always, and exactly, and there's only room in that boat for another superstar, which is Kelsey. You know what I mean? Then everybody else is Andy and the staff, and putting their brains
and
together.
1 year deals.
Putting their brains together and getting what they can out of these young guys. You know what I mean? Pacheco, Hyphen. I know he's injured, but guys like that. Juju. You hope he, they were hoping he revive his career. Valdez, Scanlon. Nobody that scares you, but a bunch of role guys.
And guys who have good years.
A bunch of role guys to go with the 2 superstars.
They really signed guys to 1 year deals that fit in perfectly and did their jobs. You know what I mean? I think Juju had 700, 800 yards receiving. So it's not like he had he had a solid year.
He's definitely set himself up to either get re-signed or sign somewhere else, right?
Because he's playing with the best quarterback in football. It's one of those no-brainers that if I'm at a point of my career, this is what Kansas City's going to become at the wideout position, right? If I'm at a point of my career where I'm only going to get a 1 year deal, but I still believe I have a ton left in the tank, or I'm a veteran trying to win a Super Bowl, right? They're the people that are going to go start playing with Patrick Mahomes. They're going to start catching on. They're like, oh, I can get a contract after the fact, too. I can win a Super Bowl because that's how special he is. You know what I mean? I think at this point, us three would, if we played 17 weeks, which we wouldn't survive it, that we would probably walk out with 500 yards a pop just because they'll be hitting our chest and we didn't even see it. How'd that get stuck? You know what I mean? How'd that get stuck in here? So he's that good. So throughout this next 2 weeks, I'm never going to take away from how good he is, how good Andy is, anything else. I'm just saying the better football team going to Arizona is the Philadelphia Eagles. That's it. That's it. Because if you really break it down, we win a lot of positional battles. Not our offense versus their offense. I'm talking about you match up our defensive front to their offensive line, that's a win, right? If you match up their defensive line to our offensive line, we win those battles. They're 2 of the biggest battles that you go into a football game with.
Yeah.
We win. Skill position.
I would say, the 3 spots that they win individually, and you're right. It doesn't have to come down to that. But, quarterback, tight end, and kicker. That's what I would give them. I would give them 3 right there. That's it.
And I would even not I'll give Harrison maybe a little bit of a nod, but Jake's also a Super Bowl winning kicker.
Yeah.
So it's close. It's close. But to your point, I'll give it to Harrison. I'm not Mr. Elliott either. I'm not Mr. Jake, so I'll give him that one. and I'm definitely giving Pat, right? And I got to give him coach just because he's done it longer, right? Just because he's done it longer, but it doesn't mean he's better. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean he's better. He's like Kyle Shanahan. The only difference is Andy's won one, right? He's won one. So his little curse is over too. But let's be real. Let's be real. Andy doesn't do a great job finishing jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We know Andy. Love him to death. He's always going to get you there. You're always going to come in every year feeling like you got a shot to be one of the last ones standing. But he has a long track record of his football teams coming up a little bit short. A little bit. And that's a long one. And I'm not taking a shot. I love the guy. I love him. Love him. I'll take him back in a heartbeat.
That's an accountability. It's 100% true, and it's an accountability thing. So you know, I mean, you know, that's when you're the guy riding the ship, man. It doesn't matter. You know, your players do play, and you know, but you gotta get it done. You know, when you're the head coach, man, these guys are your responsibility. This is your football team. So at the end of the day, it lays at your feet. No matter if somebody's throwing up in the huddle. You know, a guy's got a broken ankle and is playing through it. Bottom line is you got to finish. You got to find a way to finish.
This is a big, and this is, you know, on our side, right? When you talk about Nick, and you talk about Nick's like entire future in coaching, right? Like your entire future coaching changes off of one game, essentially. Like one game changes your outlook the rest of your life from a majority perspective, right? So like Doug, right? Like Doug won a Super Bowl and then it got bad here, but somebody out there, no matter if Doug could coach, not coach, etc. We know he can coach, right? But even if he was a moron, so you're going to get another big deal. Like somebody out there is going to say, okay, you don't want him? I'll give you a big deal. Andy, same way, right? Like he didn't win one, but he was there all the time.
Oh yeah.
But Nick wins one now. You know, Nick, when Nick's extension's coming, that's a brink truck, right? Because if he wins one, and his first 2 years as an NFL head coach would be playoffs year one, and year two, you took your team to a Super Bowl, and not only that's a win right there, but not only did you do that, you won it. Man, that's a great start to your coaching career, buddy.
That's a great point, and I take that just one step further. Even with the assistants, you know what I mean? You saw, you know, what it did for a guy like Frank Wright. You know what I mean? You know, horrible job. You know, obviously it didn't end well in the Colts, and then, you know, got a controversial Panthers job after the shit job he did.
And he wasn't even the guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. For these assistants, he could change your life as an assistant as well. You know what I mean? And we know these guys are. Some of these guys are sought after anyway, but you know, you add Super Bowl champ on there, and you get a little bit of, you know, you get a little more rope. You know, you get a little more. You tend to get another job after you fail somewhere. Oh
yeah, I mean, the Eagles would give, if Nick wins this, he gets a 5-year extension. It's not even a conversation. You know what I mean? It's a 5-year deal immediately because you can't go up from there, but you can. Like everybody says, you can't go up once you hoist it. Yeah, you can. You can go keep winning them. That's how you go up. People say, if you're really a competitive junkie that I believe Nick Sirianni is, that I believe Jalen Hurts is, right? You're not satisfied with one.
You go back to back.
Yeah, you're satisfied with because this really, I don't want to speak too soon. You got to go take care of business, right? But if you do, before my little quick bathroom break here, if you do take care of business, right? You have the makings of something that can last for a 4-year window where you could win 2 out of 4. I don't want to go higher than that because I think that's aggressive, right? That's like, you know, I want to talk in the winner's circle and be at the head of the table and talk with my chest out, but I also want to be realistic too. Like 3 out of 4 is aggressive.
No, but you're right. The way they set this up, though, not only, you know, with the pieces, just about them, how he was the executive of the year. I mean, it's a fucking no-brainer. You know what I mean?
Because Jalen Field doesn't have to kick next year.
Not only are you in the Super Bowl, but this guy maneuvered still. You're in the Super Bowl, and you still got a 10th pick. Get the 10th pick overall. You know what I mean? That's how you sustain shit, bro. You know what I mean? So this guy is
– And your own first.
Yeah.
It's going to be even though it's going to be one of the last 2, right, Sweeps? But you still even got your own number 1 too. You're right. He's done a tremendous job of how'd you get that pick? You're playing in the Super Bowl. You're only going to get better. And Jalen's deal doesn't need to kick in next year. It wouldn't kick into the following year. So all the guys that are up for deals, you can bring a lot of those guys back. You don't have to get rid of everybody. There'll be a guy or two that walks, right? That's just the way the league is. But your main guys like Gardner Johnson, right? Bradbury might walk, or Slay doesn't get renewed. Makes sense, right? One of those two guys is probably not back.
Yeah.
Right? But Avante's already signed here, right? Avante's, when he's on the field's good. But my point is, the 10th pick, you could be a corner, it could be whatever, but you can bring the majority of your guys that you want back.
Yeah.
And because you don't have to pay Jalen next year, you're not paying them until the following year. And that's when you got to get, as it goes, you got to be like the great organizations. If you're still hitting your picks, it doesn't matter what you're paying Jalen, right?
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's what I was going to add to it. I was just going to say.
I'll be right back, boys.
No, you're 100% right.
Yep.
I was just going to add to that is that's what you have to do. Like, that's why Jalen is the ultimate team guy, because people get extended because they're trying to keep guys happy. You're trying to keep a guy happy that might be a diva or might be, hey, listen, it might make waves. You know what I mean? When you're a team guy that just wants to win, you're like, hey, buddy, we can't do that right now. All right. If you want to win, we got to ride this out. And then when you're up for it, then we'll take care of you. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. And I think one of the biggest decisions, and I don't want to get too ahead of us, is the offensive line. Like Isaac Salamalu is one of those guys that is up for a deal. And it's like, all right, is Kelsey, if we win, does Kelsey retire? Because then you potentially got to replace two inside guys, right? Like if Kelsey comes back, then you can potentially slide Juergens over to guard for now. Right, and you don't have to necessarily re-sign Salamalu, but Salamalu, you don't hear the guy. Like the guy's just a part of a unit that just dominates people from the offensive line, right? But he's one of those guys that's up on, and it's going to be interesting, because this is great conversation. Because obviously we got one game left. What happens, right? What happens when we win? Because I'm going to talk it into existence. We're winning this football game, right? So I'm going to talk. What happens when you win? Does Fletch retire? Does BG retire? Does Kelsey retire? Right? These are all guys that, in theory, you would obviously love to bring back because they're your core guys. But do they do you the favor after they all win two and just say off in the sunset?
Yeah, I couldn't speak for the other two guys, but I think Kelsey rides off in the sunset.
I agree. I think of the three, I think he's a definite.
I think Kelsey's done, and he gave you everything. If you can get, knock on wood, two Super Bowls, and God gave you everything he can, and he's just a leader of that offensive line for all these years. And, an amazing.
I mean, he was a part of drafting Juergens, right? Why would you draft a replacement if you're not already thinking about it?
Speech. Yeah, I didn't know if they would move Dickerson back over, but I hear you.
And Dickerson's another guy that's played center before. Absolutely.
But I hear you. So as far as the other guys, we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, that's the beauty of it. It's a business. It's a business first. For the players, they're making a living out of it. So from that end of it, trying to get some job security and some, financial freedom. And then you can go breathe and go play the game you love and have fun with it. So. And then for management's part, then you gotta, Howie's got to do everything in his power to keep everybody in, keep as much as the nucleus together, while adding other younger pieces to make sure to sustain this excellence for at least a 5-year window. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing that Andy did so great, and all they did, they did all those in his tenure. Whether they didn't, never took a bite of the apple and never got to hoist when he was here, but you got all Eagle fans, and the last couple years, with an opportunity to win it is the ultimate goal. But you would take those years of 12-4s and being in conference championships all day, knowing you had a chance every year.
Yeah. as much as
a chance every year, where most of us can't say that. So
Yep.
that run was amazing. We just, as we alluded to 10 minutes ago, Andy just never finished. Andy and the players never finished. Whoever you want to point the finger at. So, so you would like a nice little run like that, where you sprinkle in, a title, every 5 years.
Yeah, no, and you're absolutely right. Like, as much as I, quote unquote, hate Andy, I don't actually hate him, but as much as I dislike Andy Reid, I'd sign up for that run every day, twice on Sunday, right? You know what I mean? Because you're right. Every year you were there, every year you had a chance, or more years than not, right? Every year you had a chance, and he just never finished until he got to Kansas City. So I'll still take those chances, as much as I might dislike the guy and say, F Andy, let's roll him. You're absolutely right. You sign up for that deal, right? You sign up for that run because you're always there. But the Eagles currently have 20 free agents that are not signed. A couple big ones, as I mentioned, Sayamalu, Hargrave is a big one. Both your linebackers, White and Edwards, and then of course you look at Miles Sanders, Chauncey Gardner, and stuff like that. I mean, Marcus Epps, not that he's great. He missed a big tackle, which led to Slay getting his jockstrap on that touchdown. Epps was the first guy to hit him, and for some reason went low. Why don't you just hit him?
Slay missed, and then
I thought Epps was first, and then Slay missed.
Slay whiffed. He got juked, and then Epps came in and laid the wood, and then wrap.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Gardner Johnson, but maybe whatever. But yeah, I mean, regardless, Epps isn't a superstar, but he's played all year, right? You know what I mean? So it's, he's not due for a huge, payday. He's only making $672 this year. But yeah, I mean, when you have 20 free agents, even though we have one of the youngest rosters in football, even with these guys, it's going to be interesting to see what happens after we win, right? As we kind of alluded to.
Yeah, you have to finish this season. We always say, stay in the moment, stay in the present, and you don't ever want to sell the future. But when you have an opportunity to win now, that's what you do. You don't know, how the following season or seasons are going to play out, injury wise, financially, draft wise, guys, free agent wise. You never know how that's going to happen. So you gotta finish the season that you're in. And it's been a special season, and it started in the off season with, AJ Brown and a bunch of other, then you get CJ Gardner Johnson and just tremendous moves. How he just put himself right at the top of the executive list, and then they were able to, he was able to shop for the groceries, like Tom likes to say, and then they were the staff and the players were able to deliver on the field, which makes it an unbelievable combo.
So looking back at today's game sweeps, who is let's get into some game balls. So who would you give a game ball to on the offensive side? We'll start there with the offense.
I mean, to me, it's the line. You know what I mean? Miles Sanders was awesome, and he was able to finish plays, and find pay dirt twice. So you tip your cap to him. He ran hard, and credit to him. To me, it just always starts up front. And especially how the game plan probably shifted a little bit. I'm not saying Nick had anything scripted, but going in, we all assumed that maybe it was different. But we all assumed there was going to be an aerial attack. And I know it had some precipitation and some wind going on. I get that. But we knew, everybody will tell you that, the Achilles heel, air quote, is the Niner secondary. So that's the part of that defense that was, that you can expose and you can stretch the field on and stuff like that. So that's what we kind of expected. And, whether it be through the elements or just, the coaching staff realizing, hey, they might be number one against the run or whatever they were. But our guys are awesome. Our guys,
they don't have our offensive
they might not, they might be ranked where they're at, all right? But our guys move other grown men against their will. and so to see that, the way they did that was more impressive. So the skill players that finished the plays and get all the accolades for that, and then it's just the guys up front are unbelievable. So that just the and we talk about them, so it's not like they go under the radar and stuff. It's not a sexy position. It's not they don't get to they don't unless you're a football guy, they don't get the immediate notoriety because they're not air quotes skill position guys, but just to watch what they do on a daily basis, being in this area and not being an Eagle fan, but just appreciating what those guys up front do is just it's a joy to watch. It really is. It's just unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and spot on too. And I know they Greg Olsen and Burkhardt went back on Miles's first on his first touchdown and showed the gap and the hole he had. I mean, Jesus, any one of us could have ran through that one with the double teams that they were able to seal and then just open up a hole for Miles. I'm going to stick with Miles. He was my player of the game going into it. So with 2 tutties, just under 50 yards, I thought he ran well when given the opportunity. I thought some of his, I know a lot of, we talk about him busting outside, but it seemed like all those plays that he was running were already going outside, and he didn't have much of an opportunity to go up north. But his 2 touchdowns are the ones where he did hit the hole and
it's off tackle. Boom.
Yeah. The one was up the middle, and the other one was to the outside off tackle, right, with a 280-pound fullback, Jason Kelsey, in front of you. But no, I thought he ran the ball well. I mean, you could have given it to anybody on the behind that offensive line, as you alluded to, because they were tremendous again tonight against the number 1 rushing defense. And it's so much fun too, right? As you stated, right? Let's go run the football. All right, let's go beat them at their best.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, and that's what I think made that second quarter and that start of that second half so delicious. We beat them at their own will.
And what makes it even more remarkable, Greg, is the fact that, like, in every sport, guys have a bad day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're talking about 17 plus 2 playoff weeks. So 19 weeks where this offensive line never had a bad game. Never had a bad game. They might have had a game where they had a couple holding penalties, false starts. There was the false start game was the cadence, cadence gate. It's not his voice. Whatever whatever.
What was that? New Orleans?
Whatever people wanted to say.
Something like that. But no, you're right.
Dallas or New Orleans. I think it was New Orleans. But it just never, so besides, the typical stuff that comes with it, hey, I pulled a guy down. Hey, shame on me. I'm gonna penalties happen. You never see them. You just never had a bad week in 19 weeks, and
yeah,
it's unbelievable. There could be a time when you would think in 19 weeks where a guy slipped. You know what I mean? Like Lane Johnson's playing with no groin. The guy, that's how super
shut out. That's
how superhuman he is. Like in his back pedal, you think there might be a time where there might have been the ground might have been wet and he might have sunk down a little bit and somebody got some leverage on him. No, it doesn't fucking happen.
In his whole entire career, that hasn't happened.
Doesn't happen. You got to go around the block. You face Lane Johnson and he's like, you got to go. You're going to have to go 4 blocks. You got to go 4 blocks.
Go around.
You got to go 4 blocks. You got to go around the stadium. Talk to me after you come around the stadium. Just, can't go through this gate. Can't go through this door.
And how crazy is it too? Because there was a couple plays, right? So obviously, Lane, obviously hurt and injured, and he's pulling. And they have the offense, and the play is him pulling and trying to get in front of linebackers and stuff. Don't you think you probably should not pull your right tackle who's got a groin injury? But no, he's just an absolute monster, and he's going to do it anyway.
And that's what I wasn't even thinking about him. to your point earlier about the Miles touchdown, like I'm saying that I think Kelsey's going to ride off in the sunset, and I really truly believe that. But he's out in front, like you said, a 290-pound fullback, and he's
leading Miles in the end zone.
He doesn't show any signs of slowing down. It's
no.
Just, he knows his body. He's got a new kid, and it might be time for him. You know what I mean? That's all. You know what I mean?
I noticed that too. In as the post game was going off, he's on the field with his daughters.
Yeah.
And he's putting the confetti in the jacket. And I'm not saying that's I'm riding off in the sunset, but
feels
you do those types of things when that's in your mind.
Well, yeah,
right? You want to cherish those memories when they get there.
Yeah, exactly. As fans, a lot of people take it for granted. The guys that we talk about it for, we talk about it every week, and we've been around for a long time, so we appreciate it. I think sometimes the casuals don't, and they just expect it, and they yell at the TV because they're, they get paid all this an exorbitant amount of money, and they don't realize that they're human, and your body breaks down. Your body has enough. You know what I mean? So as great as he is, and he doesn't show any signs of slowing down, and he looks immortal to us, like it probably takes till like Wednesday or Thursday for him to walk around the house and play with his kids. I'm going to tell you that, right? Yeah.
There's a video of Robert Quinn walking off the field, like in the tunnel. He almost falls over. Like the guy, Robert Quinn can't walk.
Yeah.
And so you're absolutely right. And again, I think of all the group, I think it's him. If I ranked them, it's probably Kelsey, BG, Fletch. Maybe I'll go Kelsey, Fletch, BG. I don't know. But Kelsey's definitely there.
What are you ranking?
Just because.
What are you ranking? Sorry.
The other thing,
just potentially of those three core guys, when we win, who might call it quits?
Yeah, Fletch isn't. He made it clear, sort of, like in an interview, that he feels like he has a lot left in the tank.
Okay.
So that's not the guy who wants to play.
Yeah.
Lane's Lane. I don't think Lane.
We had to bring him up.
I
didn't know, but Kelsey,
BG, and Fletch were the three guys that might be playing their last game as an Eagle, one way or another.
Yeah, I think BG's an Eagle lifer, even if it's a 1-year deal. Like I just think he's here. He'll have a radio career when he's done. He just fits right into that mold. But what I'll say is, what Sweep said is so factual, nobody really gets it. But like when these guys are like my age, like you start to feel it. Like when you hit that 40 mark of your life. Like after football, you want to have some of your body left. I played midget football and high school football, right? But like even some things with the body now, I didn't play at that level, right? Like, but even just playing sports, like I have, like it's crazy just from sliding all the time, right? Just from sliding, I think is what's messed up like my sciatica because the pain goes right where you slide. You know what I mean? It's where I slide all the time. So it's like. And that's not playing at the highest level. That's not playing 162. That's not playing 17 games of guys running 4.2s, smoking it, right? So the point is when it's all said and done, a lot of these guys, it's hard to leave $14 million on the table, right? It is, but then it's also saying, hey, do I want to be able to even walk around with my kids when I'm 40, or do I want to be a guy who can't get out of bed? I can't move. Everything hurts. Well, what do I want left, right? And it's hard to hang up when you're playing at an all-pro level. I'll tell you one thing. As a competitor, it's hard to say goodbye to that. It's hard when you're still at the highest. Play at a high level.
Yeah, he'll cry like a baby. He'll cry like a baby because he's been a great teammate. He's been an absolute warrior. And when he puts his crown down in the middle of the arena, for the last time, it's a sad day. When you got a guy like him, the decision is easier for a guy like him because his personality is off the charts. So he's going to have the podcast with his brother. He's going to have a TV deal if he wants to. You know what I mean? So it's easier sometimes for guys like that can still make money and don't have to worry about, hey, they're not chasing the paycheck,
Yeah. And you know what the great thing is? The great thing is, if they win it, and I don't know if that's the point I missed, right?
Yeah, when they win. Yeah.
If they win, I could see him very easily riding off into the sunset, right? Like you've won 2 Super Bowls, you're a freaking folk hero. What's left to accomplish, Jason? Like if I'm his wife, what's left to accomplish?
And
What's left? There's nothing. There's nothing left. Like the competitor in you, you're a Hall of Famer. Like you know what I mean. You're a late round pick that turned himself with the help of Jeff Stoutland, with the help of Jason Kelsey. Right? You turn yourself into a Hall of Famer if you win a second Super Bowl. Like you're a Hall of Famer. Like I don't know what the credentials equal to get there, but that would equal it. You know what I mean? That equals it. I think he is one anyway. You know what I mean?
Probably is. Yep. But you're
my
right.
point is
That
cements it. There's not even a question, right? And you're a legend here. So and the podcast,
number one, right? Probably
and the podcast, and I get it. It's hard to walk away, but when you win it, it's easier. But the hardest part for guys isn't that first like month of saying, "Hey, I'm done." It's 3 months later when the body starts feeling good again.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what triggers these guys, right? Ndamukong, Joseph, right? You know what I mean, boys? That's what triggers these guys and being like, man, I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Once Gronk had a few hits in, he was
he's good. The body feels good again.
Oh, body feels good on a little weed.
and I don't think us as fans sometimes realize, the toll. The body toll. Now, everybody out there, people out there, like, well, I get paid a lot of money. I know. I'm not debating that. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that the toll on the body is something that I don't think you'll ever understand unless you played at an NFL high level or you played some college football, right? Like if you played 4 years of college football and you're 40, I guarantee you're feeling shit. You know what I mean? I guarantee there's some, right? Even if you're in great shape, there's some oohs and ahs going on.
And just to give you where that conversation started, it was one of the big potential free agents is Seumalo, right? So if Kelsey retires, you potentially have to replace both of your inside guys there on the right-hand side.
Well, is Dillard?
You're going to have – and Dillard's a free agent as well.
Okay, I was going to say maybe he goes to right guard.
So, I mean, you definitely have guys that, that I know you can fill in with Stoutland, but – do you want to go in replacing two of your, 1/5 of your offensive line?
Yeah, but I think as long as you have
offensive line.
Yeah, but as long as you have Landon, Mulata, and Lane, you're still really good, right?
Agreed.
You're still really good. So it's not dire straits. You never want to lose a guy like Jason Kelsey, right? No. It's not something you look forward to. But what you do say is Cam Jurgens was Jason Kelsey's pick, from everything I hear. And I had the best, if there's a time to do it, I had the best offensive line coach maybe ever. Like maybe ever when guys on telecast say, Jeff Stoutland, you, and a guy like Jordan Mulata who played rugby, he's just a massive human being, but got him technically sound to play football is a huge accomplishment. And not only technically sound to play football, technically sound to be your blind side, right? To be a blind side guy who got paid. You want to make a movie? There's a fucking movie deal, Hollywood. You know what I mean? There's a movie deal, Hollywood. Come talk to me. Come talk to A2D. I got the Hollywood deal right in front of you. And he goes and wins the Super Bowl too, right? Come on. But so if there's time to do it, now it is. And you had the 10th pick. You have the 31st or 32nd, right? And you draft the guard. You draft the guard with that pick, or you draft the guard with a pick in the second round, right? You've always done a good job, Greg, to your point, of up front, right? This is why we're here.
Yeah.
So when they draft those types of guys, I usually assume they're hits. Like I think Milton Williams is gonna be a good player down the road, right? I do.
He's flashing right now, so there's no reason not to think that.
Yes, they do a good job. Absolutely. When they drafted an interior lineman, I'm like, all right, good pick. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Or an offensive lineman, same thing. I'm usually like, that's probably going to be a good pick. Yeah. And even their backups aren't like as Sweeps' line, right? I like to say I switch it so I don't say the same, but Sweep says tomato soup. I say grandma's tomato pie. As long as you don't got grandma's tomato pie, right? They turn guys into good football players, right? Like their second string guys are not grandma's tomato pie guys. Like they can play a little bit too. Driscoll obviously gets exposed, but is Herbig still here? Who's the
no Herbig is out.
Who's their whole bench? But I know it's one's Dillard. Has been fine when he's got put in.
Driscoll.
There's another guy too who got put at guard a couple times. I feel like, but
they had Sua Opeto, but I think they dropped him.
whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
over the years, they've done a good job.
Yes.
Before I go to Tommy's point, before I hit the head real quick, Kelsey, absolutely a Hall of Famer, even without the Super Bowl. So
yeah,
you can mark that down. You know what I mean? And take nothing away from a guy like Kevin Mawai, who's a Hall of Famer. He don't even have sniff of Kelsey's resume. So
it's true.
Come on. So I mean, like
sometimes you're too close to situation sweeps.
Oh yeah.
You know, like you see the greatest in front of you for so long, you're like, that's a Hall of Famer, right?
Oh yeah.
Just want to confirm that. Like I've watched the Hall of Famer, right? I'm just not like overly love a guy. Like same thing with Doc over the years, right? You're like, so that guy's great, right?
In your lifetime, you're going to say, and you know it's not over. I'm just saying, but you watch two Hall of Fame linemen. You know what I mean? Like with Lane and Kelsey. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's special.
Listen, I'm happy as a pig and shit. I really am.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just laying in it. I'm enjoying the shit, and I can't say enough good things about all the shit around me, you know, because it's amazing. It's amazing. Like the fact that we're the best rushing team in football, and it's not even close, and we set a rushing TD record is truly amazing. Like we've always talked about, like defense and running the football well. Not just running football well matter come this time of the year.
Yeah.
And sure as hell did they matter, right? Like sure as hell for a lot of teams in the playoff, right? Like, you know what I mean? For the team we played in both rounds, defense and running the football mattered, right? But to us, we do it at an elite level. And I think that's what I think that's going to be the big issue for Kansas City is, can they stop that? Because nobody really has. That's the problem. Nobody really has.
As we said where you're going, we just told the number one rushing defense, hey, hold our beer.
Yeah, that was fun.
We're going to beat you at your own gate. And we're not going to beat you. We're going to dominate you.
Well, what does Shane say, right? Shane deserves a lot of credit, too, because,
Shane
you're talking about three. Yeah, Shane Spikeman. You're talking about 3 and out, right? Not good. We talked about it, Craig. I said,
yep.
I don't like how this is going. This is making me nervous because you had opportunities.
Yeah.
Like the Jalen ball
to put the throat on.
Yeah, the Jalen ball to AJ's a foot in the throat. People were like, Tom, how so early? I'm like, because you don't know if Purdy's coming back or not.
Right.
So if you can get them down by double digits early, and they feel like they got to play catch up, it changes their philosophy, right? So whatever. It didn't happen. Shane goes and he commits to what? He starts committing to the run game more. Mm-hmm. And I'll continue to say it, man. When your quarterback can run like him and you really got to respect it, and you have an offensive line like this, and guys got to freeze. We said it this week, Greg. It was Wednesday, right? I said when guys like Fred Warner got to freeze, and there's a clear shot of him freezing this week, that puts a lot of pressure on defense, even when you're fucking elite like San Fran. So we think that's an easy task for Kansas City? Shit. Kansas City's got a rude awakening when it comes to what they're about to see running the football. Make sense?
Yeah. No, I agree. You're absolutely right.
How do you beat Mahomes? You keep him off the field. How do you beat him? What do we do great too?
You give him limited shots.
Yeah, and what do we do great? Time possession?
Yeah.
What does Andy not do so great?
Oh, he's notorious for quick drives or 3 and outs. I mean, that was Chip's downfall too, right? That was Chip's ultimate downfall.
And I love Andy, but they don't.
Was his up tempo system when it wasn't working was a disaster for your defense.
Yep. And I think, and they don't run the football enough to they sustain drives. Don't get me wrong; they're awesome offensively.
Yes,
but they're not gonna they're not trying to pound you. They're gonna.
They're not an 8 to 9 minute drive type of team.
No, and what matches up best with us? You want to spin it. You would think the best matchup we have is with our pass rush, with our secondary, is you want to spin it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we might bait you into some mistakes. Just with pressure. Mahomes is special. Doesn't mean he can't throw a pick. Right?
No, absolutely.
Doesn't mean he doesn't get
his most this year in a long time.
And that ankle is going to be better, but it ain't going to be 100% because he had a play on it before the 3 to 4 week window that usually takes. So He played on it. You can see it bothering him. He'll be ready to go. Don't get me wrong. He's a stud. But, it could be pressure and ankle, a little bit of an Achilles heel for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe. And we match up in what we do well, extremely well, with what anybody does well. Like I said, Greg, all year, you want to get in a shootout with us? Sure, we'll do it.
Fine.
You want to get in a dogfight us? Well, sure, we'll do it. We can beat you in a lot of different ways. But the one thing you're not going to bring to the table is the number one or number two on both sides of shit.
Yep.
At both sides of shit. This is the time we walk in. Like I said, we're sitting at the head of the table now, Greg. This is where we're at. I don't want to keep reiterating it, but it's important. It's important for people to know. This is what we built ourselves up to. That's how dominant we are. And I'm stressing it so much so that I realize it too. What I've watched all year, what we all have, has been flat out dominance. Every game. Even Lennon goes today. She goes, through 5 weeks, I was like, are they really this good? And she's like, every week it was the same result. They just kicked somebody's ass. And I'm like, I know. And she's like, sometimes it was weird, like it wasn't pretty, but the score was like, wait, they beat them by that much?
Yeah.
Right? And she's like, every week. And man, is this the definition of a true team? When you talk about a true team, and man, the guy, I can't say enough about both sides of the football.
And as we've said the last couple of weeks too, like we knew going into whoever we were playing, on the AFC side, that we were better on both sides of the football. We were a more complete team. While some of those offenses are all nice and pretty over there on the AFC, at least today, the two teams in today's game, their defensive side lacked something for us, right? There was something that we could expose on the defensive or on the offensive side when their defense. To as you just stated, there's nothing that they can really expose. See you, Tommy. There's nothing that they can really expose. There you go. on ours, because we're a complete team.
Yeah, and I think that's what the difference is. And what we need to understand, sitting here, is how really good on both sides of the football we've been all year. How whatever type of game you want to get into, we're built for. And, obviously it matters this time of year. Not saying Kansas City isn't really good, because they are. But we're built for whatever style you want to get into. You want to get into a dog and pony shootout? We'll play it. But we'll probably hold you to less points than you'll hold us to. And that's the difference all year, right? Sure. The difference all year. And I know that sounds easy, but that's the truth. That's why I said we're the king now. We're the big bad fucking motherfucking wolf. All right? That's who we are now. People understand who the hell's coming to town. Who's coming to Arizona? Right? Roof. The dogs are back, except now we're not an underdog. We are the dog. We're freaking chewing through freaking sheetrock like my asshole. You know what I mean? That's the type of dog we are. Fuck your house up. Fuck your house up type of dog. Sweep's got one. Sweep's got an eagle. He's got an eagle down there too. He knows about eagles. We got some eagles. You know what? You know what else is great? Is Cass is doing the EAGLES with me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Awesome. Really hit today. Really hit. Really hit me. Really hit me. A couple times I was saying it with him, and he was giving it back. But
that's awesome.
But listen, since the Cast Man rolled around, we win shit. Or we're in shit. One of the two, right? I'm not saying we win everything, but we've been more relevant on all sides of our sports outside of the Flyers.
This is true.
Right,
And the Flyers are playing pretty decent right now.
And I hate to break it to you, if the Sixers are healthy, they're going to an NBA Finals. You can lock that in a century.
They look pretty damn good.
Yeah, if they're healthy, they're the best team in the East. They're better than Boston because they're deeper. They're deeper. With Maxey off the bench, they're deeper now because they're going to get 24 walking in off our bench.
Yeah.
And Joel gets his touches and Harden gets his touches. It makes more sense, right? Sixers winners of 7 in a row. All right, a little segue. Look at this segue. Oh, first time radio. First time radio. But no, I mean, that's how good they are. And I'm not trying to be a homer there either. But like when you look at what's the best thing that happened to the Philadelphia 76ers was Tyrese Maxey getting hurt. because when Melton started for that period of time and they just kept winning, right? When they just kept winning, they're like, why break it, right? Because Melton doesn't need as many touches as Tyrese does, right? So you still get to your minutes. You just do your minutes with different groupings, and it's paid off, right? Because the offense obviously runs through Joel. I don't need more scoring with my starting five. I got Joel, Harden, and freaking Tobias. Like, I don't need more guys who can score, right? I need guys who score off my bench. So now when you go to Tyrese, you go to Shake, you go to Niang, but now you're walking into a potential 35 plus.
Yeah.
That's what makes the team so much more dangerous.
How many
And
times?
DJ Tucker's played tremendous defense that nobody's talking about all year. I don't care about the stat shit anymore. Like he held the MVP of the league to 2 points in the fourth quarter. He was all up in his shit. All up in his shit, winning basketball. That's what it's about. That's why you sign him. All right. It ain't a dog and goddamn pony show. Box score sometimes. And he had the biggest tip in of the game, by the way.
No, but I was going to say, how many times do we talk about it all the time? It doesn't matter who starts the game in the NBA. It matters who ends the game, right? And you're absolutely right. Not that I watch a ton of them, but while Melton's on the floor in the beginning, usually Tyrese at the end, right? Or if Melton's in the game, he's proven though that he's very capable of being in that spot.
Yeah, and that's why any substitution sport, it should never matter. Like, guys get hurt about over starting and stuff. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Unless you're talking about the All-Star game. I wasn't segueing there. You know what I mean? Like that's a disgrace that Embiid's not starting in the All-Star game. You know what I mean? But it's the All-Star game. Who cares?
Oh, well, I like the chip. Right, my video. I don't know if you heard it, but my video was like, you know what? The more things that can motivate my superstars, the better. The more things that, hey, that bothers me. That bothers me. He said it yesterday. He said, I just got to get through a playoff without a freak injury. Right? He said it. That's the only thing missing. If he's not hurt, Bill, I'll be careful what you're saying. I'll just be careful. I always say it. It's a big if. But no, I mean, listen, what do you guys want us to do? We talked an hour, 45 minutes straight of Eagles. There's no game right now. There's nothing left to talk about. I mean, I guess we can give out our game balls, right?
Sweeps and I started.
Oh, you did? What were yours? Who did you guys do?
Sweeps went out O-line. I went Miles. That's as far as we got. That we started down a rabbit hole. That's when you jumped it.
Offensively, I'll give it to since you guys all went there. I'll give it to Devontae. At least you made it look like a catch early on.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Biggest play of the game. You know what I mean? That's a fourth down. So, I mean, I know he really didn't catch it, but in the stat sheet he did. It looked like he did on first play of it. That's why the NFL didn't step in and challenge, over top because they didn't get the back angle early enough, right? So, but at the end of the day, like I'll give him a game ball because I don't know what I think I still know what happens, but a lot of things go weird in this league. But I think that's it. That was a huge catch. Game changer, and defensively, it's Hassan Reddick. It's simple. Like I think he's the best defensive player that we've signed. I can't tell you that long since I won't go maybe Hugh.
The last four teams to win the division and the conference championship by 21 points have all won the Super Bowl. 78 Steelers, 85 Bears. And the last two just went off my screen.
Rewind.
I had to pause for a while. That's why now I'm screwed. Now I'm looking like a jabroni on air. Anyway, the last four teams to absolutely demolish their playoff opponents have won the Super Bowl. So we will see.
Well, here we are.
See if the Eagles can be fifth.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will. I hate to be this confident, and I'm going to keep continuing to do it for the next 2 weeks because everybody I've talked to off air, right? Like off air, just interactions with people I do lessons with that are buddies of mine, etc. Right? You run into that are nervous and I'm talking them off ledges this week, like, yo, we're good, man. Yo, go lay your head down. Not go to bed. That's a Wilson term that doesn't age well. Just go lay your head down. This one's good. This one's taken care of, right? And I said it all week. I said it before the Giants. I said it again. I'm going to continue to say it. This ain't going to be easy. Lay your head down now. Lay your head down and enjoy this one. Relax. Relax your pulse. Relax it. Because we're going to make the plays that we need to make to win 2 weeks from now. We will.
I agree.
We will. Oh, and yeah, so mine's Reddick. Where would you guys go defensively? And there's some good other names. I got to look at the box score. There was definitely other sacks.
Just one, because then they ran the ball 700 times a game for the rest of the game. True. It was Reddick with 2 and Hargrave with the other.
Well, no, Dominican had 1, or that counts as an incomplete pass.
That was an incomplete pass.
Yeah, that's what it should. Who did?
There's a bunch of QB hits. 7 QB hits. And Dominica had 2.
Not many game balls defensively, right?
No. I mean, I'll go Kaiser White. We
led the team in tackles.
Led the team in tackles.
6.
With
4
a shocking 6, right?
4 solo.
But it's the guy we talked about going into it that he was going to be key with the likes of McCaffrey and Kittle over the middle.
He did have a pull.
And especially early, you saw him flying around. And that was something we hadn't seen in a while, right? Yeah. We hadn't seen Kaiser make some impacts, especially early on. So I'll go Kaiser for mine.
Yeah, they're just, I mean, it was just one of those games where it's just, it's Reddick and whoever else is chasing it, because the Niners, this was Kyle Shanahan's, he ran the ball 46 times in a row, and like he was going to go, like he had a 20-point conversion in it. I don't give a fuck if somebody can't throw or not. Listen,
I could not be more right.
You're going against a good football team. You're going against a tremendous defense, and he just thought, let's try to run it 40 straight times.
Sweeps. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect in my life, but I've never been more right on a coach than I have on Kyle Shanahan. Really good coach. But in the biggest moments, will do some of the weirdest shit, right? That you're like, why, Kyle? Like that play, that 4th down. It's 4th down. Call a timeout. Just call a timeout. Let him get a peekaboo and eyes on that, right? Just immediately call a timeout and say, you know what? I'll take my chances. I'm already playing from behind. I'm already in this where I gotta win some of these things. And he didn't do it. And it cost his football team, right? And that stays all the way back. Like once a loser, once an epic loser, always a loser, in my opinion. You'll get your team as far as you can get your team before you fail. And you're a really good coach, and you'll continue to be one. And the Niners will continue to be really good. Never going to say they won't. But I will. One, not having a quarterback doesn't help them, obviously. But they're not winning a Super Bowl in the Kyle Shanahan era. I will guarantee people that. Maybe some more NFC title games. Maybe a Super Bowl appearance, but they'll have a 28-3 lead and find the way to cough that shit the fuck up. I know your stripes. I said this morning. I'll say it again. I know your stripes, Kyle. I know who you are. Yes, today you're throwing a curveball. But come on, bro. Then don't even put him back in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's the injury too? Like I need to get some details because I feel like he said he can't play. You need to break my arm the fuck off for me not to be in that football game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they're saying now. I agree with you. They're saying now UCL.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, you're out.
It's probably why I couldn't grip it, right? I think the big thing is why
I won't take shots. I won't take shots on UCLs. You know what I mean? I'll take shots on sprains. Like if it came back a sprain, I'm roasting you. You'll probably never start in the NFL ever again because nobody's going to respect you. It's almost like Cam Newton not jumping on the fumble. Your career will never be the same again. If it's a sprain. If it comes out like, oh, it's just a sprain, like you might not want to release that. You know what I mean? Might want to keep that hush, right? So, but either way, we got a goddamn winner at the quarterback position. He's everything we've ever wanted in terms of the man he is, it seems like. And how his common confidence really seems like it it goes all throughout this locker room, right? His work ethic, never really rattled, right? I mean, you guys see the same shit. Not perfect, but never rattled. Doesn't look like any moment's too big for him. Everything's go about my business. On to the next one. I mean, I hate to overvalue it, but I will when it comes to the quarterback position. Because, man, guys follow that shit at this sport. We talked about it. We went south because Carson became a loser, right? So it mattered. It wasn't that we didn't have talent anymore. It was that our quarterback was a loser. People didn't like him anymore. He was aloof, right? People didn't respect him. It matters. It matters when you're around teammates and there's a locker room. It matters if guys like each other a little bit. Like, you don't got to love the guy, but you sure as hell better respect him if you expect to win. Look how they talked about Mahomes today after the game. The greatest. He's playing through injury. He's tough as nails, right? Still has a great game today. Through it all, right? Through it all, boys, right? And then that's just more of a reason to say, I'll run through a wall for that son of a bitch, right? That's how this works. That's how it works. That's your big money guy. Jalen's not your big money guy yet, but he's your franchise quarterback. He's your young quarterback, right? Guys still look to it. It matters. And when he's a worker and he doesn't make anything about him, I'm telling you, those interviews matter. Social media matters, right? You know, Zach Wilson in New York didn't realize it. You know, what you say matters. And then not only what you say, your actions, right? So you can say it, that's great, but his actions speak louder than any interview he's ever done because of how much he works.
And I think –
yeah, go ahead, Greg. Go
and I think he plays perfectly off of your emotional head coach, right? You know what I mean? The yin and yang between them two, I think, is so perfect because where Nick and, you know, and you love it because that's just the way he is, right? And he's been that way from the beginning, right? He's never not been that way. You know what I mean? Like we used to bust his balls about the numbers on the visor of the players that are hurt, right? You know what I mean? And then how many pens you're gonna put in the visor, the Sharpies and stuff like that, right?
Highlighters, yeah.
And then then he gets fired up on the sideline, and you like that from your head coach, but then your quarterback is calm, cool, and collective. Right, and you need both of those to get through sometimes.
Like a controlled violence.
Yeah.
You know, like I talk to hitters about controlled violence too, right? Like it's got to be controlled. Can't be out of control. Yeah, it's a controlled violence. You know, and the same thing goes for like, you know, just all Jalen. All Jalen to me is just a controlled violence. Like his work ethic, you know what I mean? It's just a big controlled fucking violence. And he's perfect. He's perfect. If you could pop out like the mental makeup of a quarterback, if you could pop it out, like for us as a fan base, this is what I want. You know what I mean? I might want bigger attributes, right? In terms of some size, etc., right? But in terms of the mental makeup, this is everything 5 wasn't. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know, and 5 was great. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to rip 5, but he made things worse too. You know, or he could have won. He didn't put things behind him. You know what I mean? He didn't beat a bigger man. So winning wasn't the main objective. If Jalen goes at it with somebody, for some reason, Jalen's going to be the bigger man. If Jalen and Devontae, which they wouldn't, but if they ever got, or Jalen and AJ, all three of them are boys.
Right.
But if they ever went at it, that's passion on the football field. That doesn't mean like the same thing with Shake and Niang yesterday, right? Doesn't mean like they're not boys, dude. You ever play sports with your boys? Like I got something to say to you. Like you were jumping around, showed me the fuck up. I get it. I missed you. You know what I mean? I get it, Georges. Georges. Like right, but I get it. Right? You know, but come on, you never played sports if you never had some verbal, conversations at a high level with a friend.
Yeah.
That you played with. Like, I mean, come on. Part of that's being the friendship to be able to hold each other accountable. Right? That's what made us better at sports, was knowing that, hey, I'm playing with all my buddies. They'll hold me accountable. I'll hold them accountable. You know, that shit matters. It matters. So, you know, I think that, you know, he does a great job of it. And Greg, you're right. Like, coach is very emotional. You have a lot of emotional guys, but he's just that cool. You know, I said it earlier, and he's not him. We were just playing the Niners, but I made the comparison because if you look at Montana size-wise, right, you're talking like not the biggest attributes.
Yeah.
Right? Just fucking cool. Cool as a cucumber, right? In the biggest moments. All throughout his run. You know, Jalen has that coolness, calmness, right? He's not him, right? Long way to go for that. But you guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what we've watched this year, it's that like no moment situation. You know, oh, you need 7? Well, we'll just methodically go down. We'll get 7. Oh, you're gonna go 1-on-1. We'll hit you with a big play over the top. Oh, we're gonna have to run it 10 times. We'll do that.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
Oh, you fumbled a snap at the end of the first half. All right, we'll make sure that's 7, not 3.
What do you mean? Who hates McNabb, Davon? I think there's plenty of people who hate McNabb. Did I say everybody?
There's a whole fan base that hates McNabb.
I don't hate McNabb.
No, I'm just saying most of the fan base hates McNabb.
Yeah, but me saying that, like, I'm a guy who doesn't hate McNabb.
No, I agree with you. I don't either.
So I'm not speaking for the whole fan base. I'm not saying he's the greatest quarterback we've ever had.
But there is a slew of people that hate him.
Well, right now he is. If Jalen wins this, Jalen's gonna overtake that real quick, right? Yeah. But my point is Donovan, you know, currently is the best one we've seen. Just because we haven't had, you know what I mean? We haven't had that many. But so we don't have a lot to go off of here. But that can be very well taken very quickly from Jalen Hurts, and it's coming. But I didn't mean to say everybody hates him if I said that.
All right, whatever. Yeah. I don't think you did, but maybe you did. Another interesting tidbit, you know, like I said, there's a million storylines, and then this is just another one, you know, from the team aspect, not quite individually. You know, the Eagles have the number one pass rush win rate, and the Chiefs have the number one pass blocking win rate. It's 75%, and the Eagles are 52%. You know, pass rush win rate. You know, I'm not that I'm a stat nerd. I just thought that was interesting.
No, it's interesting, and I think a big part of their win rate is the fact of Mahomes' ability, you know, extending plays, right? Is that, you know what I mean? Because I would assume if a pass gets off, that's a win rate, right? So I don't know. I'm just asking because, you know, doesn't take away from it. They're still winning. Yeah, it's still a win rate in my eyes. So that's where I'm hoping that we can take advantage of, right? That's the big key I look at, you know, on Super Bowl Sunday is can we get to him and not let him do what he does best, which is turn the play in the 7 seconds, and I just got hit for 40, right? Can I hit that?
Yeah. And like you said, you were just throwing it out there. You weren't making a factual statement, like at least because I'm only saying that because the Eagles are 12th. So like if it, you know, I feel like Jalen gets out of Dodge too, you know. So I feel like it would, you know, the Eagles would be in the top 5, especially with that line. So I don't know how it's measured. You know what I mean?
And not like Patty though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No. I mean, obviously
he's like a different breed out of the pocket, right? Or am I wrong?
No, he's a magician. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't, with that offensive line. I mean, you know, especially today, you saw, you know, guys that, you know, like to get to the quarterback. You know, the 49ers consider themselves a team that might get after the quarterback, and whenever the Eagles did throw, Jalen that could eat a picnic basket. You know, you had time to pack a picnic basket. You know, lay a blanket out. Anybody else coming for a champagne smoothie? So I don't know.
I think Mulata too's been hurt all year.
I don't know.
Mulata hurt like a bicep earlier in the year. Remember, guys? I think he's been playing hurt all year. Just not listed on any injury reports anymore, because he was like I feel like he hasn't played his best football. But 12th is 12th, whatever. You know what I mean? But that's an interesting number because you do think Jalen does the same thing Mahomes does in a way. But maybe just Jalen, I guess, is taking some more sacks than Patrick has. I guess would that be? I guess that would be the number. But Pat throws so much too, so their win rate's even crazier, right? Because he throws a ton too. So imagine winning that much when you're throwing.
Yeah, and still throwing
That's
50
fun.
times.
Yeah, it's fun. Throw 42 times, and I'm still winning. But they do have they did after that Super Bowl loss, the Tampa, they did go reshape their offensive line. I forget who they got. They had Brown. Who else do they have? Because they do have a reshaped right tackle, left tackle. I know that for sure. They don't got jabronis up there.
No, definitely not. Yeah, they signed Orlando Brown.
Yep, Orlando Brown. Yep.
And who's the other? You're right. I'm blanking on the other one.
Trey Smith and Andrew Wiley. That's the guy you probably think of. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a right tackle. He's pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah. They're not like the best. Well, I mean, win rate, I guess they are, but I guess win rate. I'm gonna hold on. Let me take that back. They're great at run blocking, right? I think we know what they're great at. So that's an interesting thing. Like, hey, we're great at doing what, baby? We're great at winning up there. You're great at stopping somebody from winning. So let the best man win up there. That's some fun shit. That actually excites me. I'm looking for a fucking challenge up there. You know what I mean? Somebody trying to stop these doggies. Who's going to do it?
Yep.
Boys, you want to do crumbs?
Yeah.
Sixers got 2 layup lines this week, by the way. Sweeps. Greg.
Yeah.
Orlando
Magic Magic tomorrow, and I don't know who else later in the week.
Magic.
Is it Magic?
It's Magic at home.
Magic Mike?
What do we always
They're home tomorrow, and they're home Wednesday.
I always tell
Both first to Magic.
Just looking at that replay right there. Like I always tell our players, something always happens. Yeah, I get it at the end of the game. You know what I mean? So the Cincinnati guy, that's just absolutely inexcusable, terrible play. But I go back to 20 seconds before that. What are you kicking this guy? What are you kicking this guy more for? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying he's Deion Sanders. You don't kick it to anybody. Anybody that has.
You don't want anyone to return it.
Anybody, yeah, exactly. Anybody that has potential to return it. You kick it out of bounds. All right. This kid obviously is going to get, probably some, threats, and that's how fans are.
This is why we're family, because I said that immediately when he kicked it straight. I said, what are you doing?
Yeah, I said that. I go, why would you kick it to him? I don't care who he is. You don't kick it to him, dude. Kick it out of bounds, man. Come on. So I just thought that was interesting because it's always the last thing we see, but there's always stuff that leads up to it. You know what I mean? And people forget about it unless you.
Oh yeah, Cincinnati had a lot of chances.
Unless you deep dive like us, yeah.
I mean, they cost themselves. They had a chance to drive it and win that game. You know what I mean? Yep. And they gave it back. They gave it back. And like you said, Sleeps, that's spot on, because as soon as he kicked that straight, I said, what are you doing, bro?
And low too, buddy.
Yeah. It's like a line drive. I'm like, what are you doing? Like that. Now this is where I think guys are not good coaches, right? Like a lot of it is execution, right? And the right play at the right time, right? And situational football, right? Situational baseball, whatever it may be, right? And situational football comes in those spots. I don't care if it's us 3 back there. Kick it to the fucking 10th row. Kick it to the fucking 10th row.
Make sense.
Fucking losers. Everybody stinks at their job.
Don't make any sense, bro.
Speaking of stinking at their job and punters, potentially Aaron Sipos would be back for the Super Bowl, so we don't have to watch Brett Kern back there anymore. if they decide to make a change, Sipos should be ready.
Wiregate's done. Wiregate ran its course here. So I mean that's a cool thing. I'll take Sipos back. It's pretty curious how he's been out like fucking 7 weeks just by picking up a fumble, but that's fine.
No, he popped a ligament.
I know. Just picking up a fucking fumble, Greg.
Yeah, well, he's a punter. I mean, they're not athletes.
Well, you're semi-athletic. Jesus. You can get your leg. You can get your leg.
They get their leg ahead above their heads.
I mean, your toes can hit your forehead. So I mean, I don't want to not athletic.
you don't have the same anatomy that we do. So I agree with you.
My uncle, not to this day, but probably 20 years ago, right? My uncle, who was like an all-state punter, right? Which is something you probably don't want to brag about, but he was an all-state punter. He can still get his leg up and touch it all the way up to his hand.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Oh, so Crumbs?
Yeah, I'll go first. It's LeBron James, and it's the way it goes. I mean, that's it. I don't care about I don't care about all-time points leader. I don't care about all his accolades. You know what I mean? Guy's a baby, and this is why most of us despise him. You know what I mean? It started with the decision, and it just just nothing but a crybaby. All right, were you hacked yesterday? Absolutely, but the antics afterwards are like, I mean, you're a grown man, dude. Grow up. Fucking A, dude. He's like on the ground, like he got shot. It's the end of the world, and you're still the 12th seed, dude. Like, how big of a game was it? How big of a game was it, the loser? All right, you got to carry on like that. Like, we're all competitors, dude. Like, maybe you voice your displeasure, whatever. I mean, jumping up and down like a 3-year-old. It's absolutely atrocious behavior. All right, and as expected from him, because that's what he is. La flopper, la loser, whatever you want to call him. And I'm sure there's 1,000 minions in here that love him, and good for you guys. But you can call him your king. Never come out of my mouth.
Yeah, I'll never say he's not a great player.
Absolutely.
But I'll say this is the shit that takes away from it.
Yep.
Right? I mean, you made it way more than it needed to be. Like, we all know, okay, you got fouled. Okay? We all saw it after the fact. That's a foul. We get it. But come on, bro. I mean, calm down. Like, acting like, you lost game 7 of the finals. Like, the game wasn't over. It was tied and going to overtime. You still got a game to win. Yeah. Go act like it. My crumb is going to be Trent Williams. Because you know what? I seen some people in the chat.
I left him for you guys.
Yeah, and I had some people in the chat say it. And this isn't the first time that Mr. Trent Williams has been a part of this kind of stuff here in Philly. If you remember his days with Washington.
It's good, yeah.
All right. So he's had these types of altercations. But Trent, you're a tremendous player. But you're really going to go after like the smallest guy in the world. And at one point, I thought that, and I wonder if this comes out. I thought that Kayvon's helmet they were like stuck together. It started to look like they were stuck together because when he pulled him off of him, it almost looked like he pulled that off. Like, go rewatch it again, because when they were like together like this, it looked like they got stuck after a second. I don't know how, but it looked like 2 players. You know what I mean? It looked like somehow they got stuck.
Once again, you're talking. Yeah, absolutely, brother. You're
talking conspiracy or anything. You know what I mean? Look like they got stuck, and that's why he went on for so long in there. And then he ripped. He's a jerk off. He ripped it out, but then he don't want to see nobody big. He's been down this road. Jason Peters punked him years ago.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So you've been punked. You've been punked by a guy your size. So we've seen your act. Have a seat, Trent.
That's what I'm saying. Like, from behind, not that it was already a mismatch anyway, but you're a mammoth of a man, and then you're going to just yank the dude by like his horse collar that's already banned in the NFL, just regularly. Just it's something that's regularly banned in the actual combat of the game. All right. Yeah. Then you just, the guy's not even looking. You horse collar him and then spike him through the ground. I mean, get out of here, man. Like, he should be spending 3 games next year and fined heavily. I got news for you. And he won't be, but he should
be. Yeah, he should be.
Get your money. You got your lunch.
It's not the first time.
Got your lunch money taken all day, and now you're a little tough guy when a little tiny guy, when a third teamer walks in. Yeah, you're a real tough guy.
Yeah, Josh Sweat, who wasn't a high pick, in my opinion, had a lot of pressure early in the time that I watched, right? In the time that I watched, it looked like he had pressure early. I did think it, you can even make case for Jimmy G because he was smiling a lot on the sideline today. He had a lot of smiles.
Yeah, him and Trey Lance were definitely smiling a lot.
It's like they enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, it is kind of funny how you go through a whole year. You come out the end of the year the same spot you went into the beginning of the year. You have no idea what your quarterback situation is.
Yeah, you don't.
I got a double crumb real quick. I'm going to go first of all the ticket prices and the secondary ticket market for just these mammoth of games. It started with the World Series, and now, I mean, I should have taken the price earlier when I texted you guys, and that was at $4,500. Now they're over $5,500, $5,700 right now is the cheapest ticket to get in for the Super Bowl. And these games, they're supposed to be for fans, and they're just so priced, so out of a fan's range that they can realistically get there. And that's not even getting all the way to Scottsdale and that whole fiasco as well, right? I mean, there's no shot that any championship game should be $5,000 to get in the door. I don't care what it is.
No,
I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? And we know face value isn't that high.
No, in a league where the commissioner makes $44 million, it's a joke.
Yeah,
Joke.
I mean, you're pricing out your fan.
Joke.
Your stadiums are full of fans every week, and then the biggest game of the year, potentially for your team, you can't afford to go.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a $10,000. Think about that.
Yeah.
If you're one ticket, that's $6,000. Probably at this point, so close, you're probably looking at 400 plus for a flight.
Yeah,
and then 2 or 3 nights at a hotel at an exponential rate, especially because, as I mentioned earlier, the waste management's there already. So
yeah, you got to get hooked up because
where you know what I mean? Like, where are you staying for cheap?
Corporations buy them up and they give them out.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is what it is.
Yeah.
But if you tell me it's in the $2,500 a ticket, like, I get it. It's a big event. That's
probably normal, right?
Yeah,
I don't know what face value is, right? Because we don't have that access.
I mean, that's even a lot. But I get for the Super Bowl, like, obviously, I think it's going to be over $1,000. I get it.
Sure.
I get it. It's always been, for as long as football's been around, it's always been an expensive ticket.
So
it's not new.
Yeah.
Not new. I mean, they're greedy motherfuckers.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
the whole league.
Yeah. NFL, secondary markets, whatever.
It's a mafia.
Yeah.
It's the biggest mafia in the world we're just watching.
Absolutely.
We're just watching a mafia. I think it's funny.
And then the second one is
I saw that somewhere. I feel like somebody said that.
It makes sense. I mean, it's probably scripted, right?
Mafia?
No, I don't think it's scripted at all. I'm not playing that game. That's a hard thing to do. People think that shit's easy.
In the Bills, the Super Bowl.
No, absolutely.
I can script 10 guys. You know what I mean? I can't script freaking however many players are in the league.
The other team too.
Yeah.
The other one is, and it's going to kind of be a strange curveball here. WNBA and their players, they're fighting for charters. They want charter flights. Now, granted, I didn't realize that they were taking commercial flights to their away games. But there's only 12 teams, and nobody watches your games. Nobody goes to your games. So where do you think that the WNBA is going to be able to afford charters for for the league? Like they can't afford your league already. The NBA is already fronting 90% of your money.
Well, there it is.
So all of a sudden, all these free agents are coming out, and they want in their contracts they want chartered flights. Come on.
The league didn't do it right.
Get a product.
The league didn't do it right. The league should have had. If the league wanted, the WNBA is never going to work to a major, a vast majority of people, right? It's never going to work for right, but it'll have a niche, right? But what you do is, if you're the NBA and you want to do this with the WNBA, right? You have them as affiliates under NBA teams, right? And it just draws a little bit more interaction and a little bit more publicity and a little bit of marketing, right? And maybe have a little bit more interest than you do, but you're never going to get the big time interest, but at least you can afford, right? You can afford some of these other things, right?
Yeah.
You can afford a charter flight because Obviously.
If the schedule, like you said, if the scheduling is done right, then they can share a plane. You know what I mean? Like,
why not?
Yeah. No, I just came across a whole bunch of the
Greg's face. You're such a creep. You know what I mean?
No, the top end free agents, they're crying and complaining about
no.
Like, who the freak goes to your games?
No, you're a creep because when he said share a flight, I saw your face.
No, but that's a great idea.
No. I thought, you wanted.
I wasn't going there.
You wanted, you were in the bathroom.
Share a plane, not a share a flight.
Guy was in the tub, in the bathroom. Oh man,
turbulence talk.
Oh, been there. We've been there. I still got to decide if I'm going to Florida. I'm on the trying to convince the drive talk. I hate flying. I refuse to fly like Frontier or Spirit. I just feel like something bad, like
Spirit's
not flying.
Spirit's gotten better. Frontier,
Make a video.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll just cruise it if I need to. Maybe I'll get a charter.
Do it.
Well, listen, if you're just tuning in and if you've been here for a minute, hit the like, subscribe, follow, stay with us through the Super Bowl run. We're going to be giving you we give you live shows every night anyway, but live shows every night here on HUD Radio. You'll see me and Greg again on Wednesday, and the three of us will be back Sunday, and then we're a week away. We're deep into it. We're deep into it. So lock into some Sixers, right? Enjoy this week. It's a bye week for your mind too. So take the bye week for your mind a little bit. A little bit of a bye week. Get your emotions right. Soak all this in, and then we got business. Like we're back. Like we're playing, right? And then we'll get back. We'll get back to tape. We're back watching tape on Monday and breaking it all down. No, but yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Fun time.
Yeah, and we got Trey Turner. Like, this is cool.
Hurts.
Fucking Turner and James Harden might be better than he was in Houston because now he passes. Like, this is amazing. Like the most selfish guy we thought is the most unselfish guy all of a sudden. Like, love that. Love that. Look what the city does to you. Takes you off the stripper pole and makes you a great teammate. See what we do here in Philadelphia? Don, I see you, baby. He's in every chat. I always got to give Don my shit.
Don, that's our dude.
Might just hire Don as a producer. Cut clips, right? Cut clips, give sound bites. I'd love to drop some sound bites in here once in a while. Spruce it up. We say a lot of great things. A lot of great things.
You do say some good times, good things.
But not going to sit here blowing people yet. But tremendous job by Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie. One more to go. One more to go. And this entire football team and coaching staff. Even you, John. Even you. Even though I could have coached today. But even you, John. You know what I mean? Even fucking you.
They just showed it again, Greg. What Slay's the guy. Slay whiffs big time.
Oh, biggest. Last crumb. Last crumb.
God,
last crumb. Last crumb on the way.
Marcus Epps was the first one that missed.
No, we didn't. Watch it again.
I don't have confidence.
I'll tell you how this goes.
No, Slay missed.
Epps went low. On the initial coming out of it.
Didn't need to go low. Just hit him.
Hold on. He went low. McCaffrey hurdles it a little bit, right? Then he breaks. Then he goes and breaks Slay's ankles.
Oh, totally, Josh. Yeah.
Not even on a crazy move either. More on a move where, to me, it said that Darius didn't want to tackle nobody. It was literally a move that said, I don't want to get my beak wet. I might be soft sometimes. It's baby shit. I can't confirm or deny that. Like, I don't know anymore. You know what I mean, guys? I don't want to say it like that it's true. But sometimes if I go look at that tape, right, if I look at that tape on Monday, I'm like, did you want to tackle him? You know what I mean? Did you want to?
We gave up 7 points. You were going to crumb Darius Slay.
I'm not crumbing. No. It wasn't a crumb. It's like, I don't know if he ever wants to tackle. Is
I'm
it
not saying he's great at it, but he doesn't. He got juked out. I mean, what are you gonna want? Everyone gets juked out.
I don't know if he got juked out. or if he just fell down.
And then CJGK and Javon hit him and didn't rap either.
Yeah, we started fucking hitting him, Greg.
Towards the end.
At least they were hitting somebody. They tried to knock somebody down. Okay, grow up, Peter Pan. You're gonna give those guys shit for hitting, and then we give up 7 points.
What happened to Epps? Epps went low, and he's bigger than McCaffrey.
Epps is not the highest paid player on defense, Greg. There's a standard. When you're the highest paid player on defense, you can't I can see if Christian was in the open field and really put your panties somewhere there, but he wasn't. Where's he going? You just fell down. It was a little juke move, fall down hey, you know what? This guy's running strong today. I don't know if I want this action. I don't know. And I like Darius. You know what I mean? We're going to the Super Bowl, baby. I love everybody.
Yeah.
But I just call it how I see it. I'm asking too, right? This isn't me telling you. This is what Tom's eyes saw. Did you guys see the same shit? That's all. I'm asking.
Josh Johnson chose the concussion. It was good.
Look at that. Tom's the best. Yep. Don, you are number one. All right? Get you in here. We'll get you in here. We'll get you hired. All right? What a success story that would be. You know what I mean?
Gets hired, then the Detroit Lions make the playoffs.
Yeah, Don. Yeah, Don, you come over here, good things start to happen. Yo. Keep surrounding yourself with winners, Don.
As long as we'll take the Lions in the playoffs as long as Michigan never gets there again. We're good. Can we make that trade? Big game Jim never gets there again.
I'll tell you what. On our way out, the Lions put up a better fight than half these playoff teams that were in the playoffs. So
that's fine.
I'm sorry.
They would have gave us a better game than anybody we played.
Yeah, could have, would have. Don, but the Lions show up and they would have competed in this playoffs, unlike some other teams.
On my way out, Richard, that's a crumb comment. Because when you talk about people can't start loving Jalen now, yes, they can. Because you could be wrong about something and then say, you know what? That guy proved me wrong. I love him. That's my guy. You're allowed to do that. Smart people change their opinion, right? When you need to, right? That's what smart people do. Assholes don't, Richard. Dick. All right? Dick. Right? They don't.
That's
assholes don't. So if we were assholes, we would be the guys coming on saying he's not good enough, right, Craig? Right? We'd be those guys.
we'd be guys still, yeah.
Yeah. So since we believe in a guy, now we're not allowed to.
I mean, he made we had people had legitimate concerns. They were legitimate concerns.
Dick Shally.
Yeah. Well, let's get out of here.
All right. That's how I'll wrap it up. You just got crumbed. All right. You got crumbed. Telling people what they can and can't do. All right. If you're a man and you're 40 and you change your mind because you're supposed to, all right, that means you adapt. That means you're smart. But if you hold grudges or always want to be right, there are people who won't admit the shit.
Yeah.
They'll find weaknesses. They'll say this guy isn't good at this or that, or I don't believe in that, or his team around him so fucking good, right? That he it's easy for him. Whatever you want, whatever narrative it is, to not give him credit at all. That's what people use, and that's fine. That's fine. But I'm not that guy because I wasn't sure, because I didn't coming out of college. I didn't know if he could throw it at this level, right? And we all do is question marks. Doesn't mean what we thought then we can't change that opinion.
Yep.
That's smart. We changed it and said, you know what? He's gotten better. Look at the kid. Look at the kid. Okay, Dick. All right, Dick. Good night. Good night, everybody. Eagles going to the Super Bowl. For Nick Delgado, Greg Milanovic, I'm Tom Arnold. We love you out there. For our doc, make them yours. Dr. Paul Vidal, physical. I can't even talk anymore. I'm so tired. My second show of the day. SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. Locations in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Find them on the web, SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. We love you. We'll be seeing you all week.
78 Steelers, 85 Bears, 88 Niners, 89 Niners, 22 Eagles.
Boom.
Wow.
Let's finish it.
Finish it.
Pretty good fucking teams.
That's what I mean. They're the
Pretty good teams. Yep.
4 teams that won their playoff games by 21 or more. Yikes! Yikes!
I'm home. Oh, that knock, but we're out of here. Love you.